All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who's a cynic. This is take two of my live stream. I was streaming before. I don't know what happened. Everything seemed to be working on my end. So I don't know if anything was actually recorded, or if anything's actually even going to be uploaded. I did go over some things, so I'm probably going to leave that video up just in case. But let's see if this one works at all. I know that people have been having issues like seeing anything. So let me copy this. All right, so let me put this on Twitter. Take two. All right, take two. So let's see if that works this time. So let me see if I can get the chat back up. All right, came up right away for me. So we got one person in here. Let's see. What's up, Lost Soldier 212? Please let me know if this is working. I actually just tried live streaming about a minute ago, and there were a couple people in here, and they said they couldn't see or hear anything. So please let me know. Adam Davey says, yeah, gotcha. All right, awesome. Fantastic. So glad that this is actually working. Yeah, I was so confused because for a long time I was like talking to myself, and I was like, well, I kind of figured this out. It's a Friday night. Ethan Van Sciver's live streaming, and I was already having some hard time, some hard competition right there. And so I thought to myself, I might as well just make a video out of it, talk about some of the things that I've mentioned today, not only on Twitter, but also in my videos as well. So I started talking for a bit, but then I saw the chat and people were trying to, get in contact with me. So thank y'all. Thanks for letting me know that, because otherwise I probably would have just kept going and going and going. I probably would have given up like after 20 minutes, but I'm so glad people are here. Hello, how is everybody doing? Please, if you know anybody else that watches the stream that you are in contact with or know their Twitter or anything like that, please send out the new link to them. So that way we can get some more people in here. We can have us a good Friday night discussion. Probably not going to go too long. We're definitely not going to do the 2.5-hour marathon that we did a couple nights ago, but it's great. Super Anime Gamer 01, what is up? What is up, Super? How is it going? Welcome back. All right, how is everybody doing? Did anyone? Because I can't tell totally from the YouTube channel names, but was anyone on Twitter today with the whole kerfuffle with Mr. Gay Tatooine? And dude, Demon Scythe was just like rocking it. Like, he was doing great. I did a video on it the other day, but Mr. Gay Tatooine just kept going and going, and Demon Sight just kept coming back. Like, even today, kept coming back. And then all of a sudden also Jesse Milestone got into it as well. And here's Jesse trying to engage in a conversation with this person, and then he's just totally being a gigantic troll. It came to the point where I had to block the guy, because I said this in my last live stream that no one could see, but I honestly hate blocking people. I just don't understand it. I like to engage with people even if I don't agree with them. But this guy was literally just trolling. The part that got me the most, though, was when he blocked me on Twitter. So then I posted the picture of it. I took a screenshot on my phone from work, and then I posted a link saying, hey, success. I've done well, because it's always great to be blocked by these SJWs. And so all of a sudden he comes and he contacts me, and he makes a comment on that picture, and he says, what are you talking about? I didn't block you. This is just fake. This is just a fake doctored photo. And I just couldn't believe it, because I was like, seriously, you blocked me and then unblocked me just to make a false claim about me? It's like, are you kidding me? This is absolutely insane. What the hell are you doing? All right, let's see. Lost Soldier 212 says, bro, your video today on Rian Johnson and the media was great. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, when I got the alert that the news had broken, I think Slash Film broke the story first, and then I picked it up on another site. But when they talked about saying, oh, it looks like it's very likely that the Rian Johnson trilogy is going to come out starting in 2020, I couldn't believe it. It just made my mind just went crazy, because I just could not believe that everything that we've been saying. Obviously, when we say, oh, the trilogy is not happening, I mean, obviously we don't have official confirmation from Disney. Disney hasn't come out and said, oh, the trilogy is not happening, because of course they're not going to make that announcement yet. They're gonna try and act like everything's fine. They're gonna try and do whatever they can to spin the story however they like. I never thought, though, that they would come out and give a tentative date for when these movies would come out. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know when they're gonna come out, because part of me is now a little concerned that they are just going to not eat the crow. They're just gonna stay hard-headed and just keep going forward, keep pushing forward. And it scares me, because if they keep doing that, if they keep pushing forward, I really do worry for the future of Disney, and not only just the future, rather not the future of Disney, but the future of Star Wars. Because if they allow Rian Johnson to make another Star Wars film, and let not just any Star Wars film, but his own Star Wars film, just the nonsense that he's going to bring into the universe, I think it's going to do a lot of damage in the end. Adam Davies says, hi, Odinites. Well, yes, hello, Asgardians. Hello, Odinites. System Error says, I switched to my laptop just for you. Odin stream is good now. Well, thank you, System Error, for doing that. I greatly appreciate that. I think there was something wrong with the stream because you were not the only one that was having issues. So thank y'all for letting me know about that. I'm glad that it's up now. So again, thank y'all so much for letting me know. Let's see. Adam Davies says the moral majority coward strike again. Yeah, absolutely. Like this person is trying to come off as a better guy, and in the end, he's just being a total troll and has no leg to stand on with any of his arguments. System says, thing is, though, that headline is built off rather mealy-mouthed statements from Rand Bergman. Yeah, again, there is still a question about the validity of the statement, but the fact that someone who is at least represents Rian Johnson, I don't know if I could go so far to say represents Disney, but still someone who is a mouthpiece for another person who is directly attached to the project is saying things like that. There must be some kernel of truth to it. And I think it's interesting, especially since it's so funny though, because the same people that are at least reporting on this and trying to spin it as this positive, saying, oh yeah, you thought that you had a voice and guess what, you don't. They're the same people that were just talking about Star Wars fatigue like 3 weeks ago. And it's just so freaking hilarious because they're just like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Cause oh yeah, they can release a movie a year out. And it's just silly. It's just so funny to me. Lost Soldier 212 says, LOL bro, but Disney listens just their own Musketeers. Yeah, pretty much. It just, again, as we've said this several times before, they just love to live in their own tiny little bubble where they don't let any other opinions or any other thoughts come in, and they just decide, you know what, I'm just going to believe what everyone else in this tiny little bubble believes, and I'm not going to try and step out of that at all. And yeah, it hurts them in the long run. Adam Davies says, 2020, huh? We'll see. Exactly. I said this in the video. I dare them. I honestly dare Disney. I dare Lucasfilm to release a Rian Johnson made film in 2020, because if episode 9 is at all as much of a bust as I think it might be, and by bust, I mean either barely breaking even, making a very small profit, or maybe even losing money. If they try in 2020 to do that with a Rian Johnson helm film, good luck. Like, that is a film, like, I know that Jeremy did not boycott Solo. Like, he supported people who were boycotting it, but he did not actively boycott it. I would not be surprised if people like him, people like Ethan Van Sciver, world-class BSers, if all of us came together and said, you know what, because this guy has just been a total tool to all Star Wars fans and just attacked everybody, calling everybody man babies, let's tank this film. Because you know what, especially if we all come together like that, like, if they don't think that we're a big movement, if they don't think that we have a very loud voice, if they don't think that we can speak with our wallets, I dare them to release a Rian Johnson film in 2020, because it is going to be a huge bomb for them. System Error says he likes maybe 2 years. Yeah. System Error and the shill media is like 2020. Exactly. It's like, oh, maybe they should do every 2 years because that would, space it out, make it more of an event. And then all of a sudden, oh, but 2020, because yeah, it was a great film. Oh, it won a Saturn. Remember when it just a couple days ago, it won the Saturn Award for Best Screenplay, and I just laughed because not only that, but I know that that random game user 42, or random gamer 42, did a live stream earlier, and she talked a lot about the Saturn Awards, but also how Star Trek Discovery also won a Saturn Award for writing. And what is very significant about that? Well, there's a social justice warrior in each one of those projects. So it makes every sense. And also, fun fact about the Saturn Awards, if you go on almost any mainstream IMDb page, whether it's a film page or an actor's page, you will probably see a Saturn Award nomination. I found that interesting because I remember when I heard the Saturn Awards, I thought to myself, what awards is this? And then I remembered, oh, this is the award show that I see give nominations to almost everybody, it seems, at least. It's just in my own experience. Wes Smith, what's up, Wes Smith? Just found you today. Looking forward to watching all of your content this weekend. Well, thank you, Wes Smith, for finding me. Thank you very much for looking forward to that. And I hope that you like the content. Again, I do this just, because I love it. I love having conversations. I love talking to people. So if you like it, hey, that's awesome. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Jedi Starship. Oh, sorry. Super says, haven't gotten a chance to check out your vid yet, but I will. But I can already say with confidence, there's no way he's getting that trilogy. Yeah, again, there's just no way. Again, if they do try, and I dare them to, it is going to lose so much money. No one's going to go see it Again, you already pissed off enough people with Last Jedi. There's just no way that anyone's going to come out and watch that. It's just stupid. Jedi Starship says, damn you, Rian Johnson. Absolutely. Super Anime Gamer says, and if he does, he's not going to get to make what he wants. Disney is going to be on him so hard it's not even funny. Exactly. And then we all know what happens when a studio gets heavily involved with a project. It's usually a giant mess. I mean, look at any film where studio involvement has been very heavy. When a creator, when someone who has a vision is not allowed to let that vision, you know, drive his film, a movie tanks. A movie does terrible. I mean, just look at, you know, we were talking about this the other night, Blade Runner. Blade Runner got skewered, got terrorized by the studio getting involved, and it had to take like 3 or 4 different cuts just to get the cut that was originally intended, and it happens to be the best cut. So, you know, obviously I don't really have a whole lot of expectations for Rian Johnson anyway as a creator. You know, obviously I will give him some credit because I do think Brick is an excellent film. If y'all have never seen it, I do recommend checking out Brick, you know, whatever means you want to do so. I know I don't think any of you will probably want to buy or pay for it, and I don't blame you, but it's actually a really well-crafted film. So I know that he has the capacity to do it, but he didn't do it with The Last Jedi. That's for damn sure. Let's see. System Air says, you're one of the best streamers, Odin. Only Abu Nas has your high energy. Hey, well, I like Abu Nas. I hope he's out of Twitter jail because I thought that whole thing was ridiculous. But thank you. I really do greatly appreciate that. And of course, again, I always appreciate, you know, the small groups that we're able to get every single night. I love it. Again, I love having the small community, especially the same people back every single night. I love it. And we have of course, we already have like 2 or 3 different people in here. So welcome to everyone that's new to this. And hello once again to everyone that has been a part of these things. I love it. It's just so much fun. Emma Louise, welcome to the stream. I think you've been in a live stream before though. They would be crazy to let his trilogy go ahead. It would be a disaster. Absolutely. Again, it would be a total box office bomb. No one would go to see it. No one, sure as hell, no one would buy the toys for it because guess what? The people who usually buy the toys are the hardcore fans who he's attacking and calling man babies. I mean, again, I don't know a whole lot about business, but I know one of the things that you don't do is you don't attack the people who you want to consume your product. It's not a very good decision, and we can see that with the numbers coming out from Solo, that's for sure. Lost Soldier 212 says, these shill sites are really just helping Disney sprint to their doom. I hope they release it too, please. Yes, exactly. Like, these sites are just basically fueling the fire, and it's so funny because you see, for example, I was talking about Mr. Gay Tatooine, the person on Twitter who was just, just a giant troll, and he made a comment about that saying, oh, it's all part of this, machine, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, yeah, but in the end, all it's doing is fueling the fan base. And all it's doing, too, is keeping the anger. So let's say that they had just ignored it. Let's say that they had, mea culpa and said, yeah, it wasn't the best that it could have been, things, everyone probably would have forgotten about it. Everyone said, oh, well, you know what? I'm excited for episode 9 because they say that they've learned from that and they're going to try and fix some things, whatever. But what did they do instead? No, they doubled down. They said, no, this was a fantastic film, and you're just a racist if you don't like it. You're just a sexist if you don't like it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now all of us are just left, being reminded every single day because these articles are coming out every single day. And guess what that's doing? That's not furthering your own mission. It's not making you look better. It's instead giving us more fuel, not just the people streaming, but just the fans, giving them more fuel. It's keeping the fire that was set with Last Jedi alive every single day. And so if they keep doing that, all the way through 2020, which is what it looks like they're going to be doing, at least at this point. Again, I don't think he's going to get that trilogy. I think it's going to be scrapped. I think he's going to be gone, and he's just going to make his own films that 50% of people can like and 50% of people can hate, since that seems to be what he wants to do. And he can go right ahead and do that, and we will just go ahead and not have to watch any more of his films, because if they do try and make us, yeah, good luck with that. It's not going to be good for them at all. So guys, thank you for joining the stream. I'm just going to pull up the stream on my phone because the chat is now jumping on me, which I hate. So I'm definitely going to be wanting to make sure that I have everyone's comments, because I want to be reading everyone's comments. Is something that I love to be able to do. So let me just get the live chat up here. And all right, I am now upset. So System Error says, I was on EVS stream and I switched to your broken effed up stream and persisted because I loved you so much. Well, I love you too, System Error. Thank you so much for that. I greatly appreciate that. Man, jumping from Ethan Van Skyver, I do really appreciate it, because again, I love Ethan Van Skyver. I think he does a lot of work. Sorry, apology for my dogs. My dogs love barking at things that don't exist. But I love my dogs so much. But yes, oh my goodness, thank you so much, System Error. That means so much to me. You have no idea. Adam Davies says, at the risk of sounding crass, I believe in Star Wars fatigue as much as I believe in Bojack. fatigue. Sorry. I think you might be right on that. But yeah, for I can say for certain Star Wars fatigue is absolutely just total garbage. Jedi Starship says, Odin, have you been following Ivan Ortega's Last Jedi fan edit? It's way better than last. Oh yeah, absolutely. I've shouted him out on this stream before. I love all the work that he's doing. Like every time he posts a video, I try and watch it. I think I've only missed a few of his most recent videos where he's actually shown like the edits that he's been doing. But it's amazing. It's awesome. I honestly cannot wait to see the final product. And knowing what I know about how he's going to get it on to onto a platform that we can access, because his plan is to release it totally free, which is awesome. Like, it's just so cool. Obviously, he can't sell it, but still, I think that it's just really cool. And I know that a lot of people are supporting him on his live stream, supporting him on Patreon, because he really does deserve it. I mean, he's just putting all this work and all this effort in, not expecting anything in return. So the fact that he's getting something is just really, really cool. But I know that if anyone's ever I own the despecialized editions of the original trilogy. So if anyone does not know what that means, it means that someone, like a group of people, essentially painstakingly went through every version of Star Wars that exists. A lot of the stuff they got was from, I think it was the '97 DVD release. And basically what they did was they recut Star Wars episodes, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. They literally recut all of the films to be the original theatrical release films. So it took out all of the CGI added nonsense. It took out all of the changes that George Lucas made, and it's just the original films. And they did a high definition cut of it, and it's awesome. Like, I have it on Blu-ray now, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's so well put together. But the process of getting it is you have to essentially download like 100 different files for each one, and you have to use sites where you can only download like 8 files at a time. So it takes forever. But I will say that it's well worth it, because when it all comes together, it's fantastic. So unfortunately, I feel like that's probably going to be the way that he's going to have to do it, because that's one of the few ways that it can be done without it being just shut down every 5 seconds. But I can't wait for that, because Ivan Ortega's cut looks freaking amazing. I cannot wait to see it. Sister Mary says, I call them words. No. Sister Mary, thank you very much for that. Yeah, like, it's a total farce. It really is. It makes no sense whatsoever. Wes Smith says, like what I see so far, kudos. Well, thank you very much, Wes Smith. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sister Mary says, whoop. Sister Mary says, I've been drinking a bit tonight. Hey, you know what? We're all having fun tonight. It is a Friday night, so it is time for all of us to, pick the feet up and have a good time. Isaac Slaney, hello, Isaac Slaney. Welcome to the chat. This is a name for this is the first time I've seen the name in the chat. So welcome. I'm the only Star Wars fan in my family. I didn't go watch Solo, so my whole family didn't go. 7 people. Multiply that up, the whole fandom, and they say the fans have no power. You are exactly right. So again, the hardcore fans are the ones who not only see the movie, but also see it more than one occasion. Bring friends, bring family to go see the film. So if you're going to attack those people, if you're going to put out a crap product and those people don't go, that's going to have a huge impact. Now, of course, they love to play around with numbers like, oh, it's just a small majority. It's like, yeah, but if it was a small majority, then Solo would not have not lost $200 million. I'm sorry, but a Star Wars film of anything, even if it's not a great Star Wars film, just look at the prequels, in my own opinion. I know a lot of people defend them, but at least they made money. Like, even after the first one, when people saw, oh, we don't really know about this direction that George Lucas is going in, it still made money. All 3 prequels made money. So again, food for thought, food for thought. Ratboy367, hello Ratboy, welcome back. I'm protesting episode 9 by seeing Jumanji 3 on Star Wars opening night. They don't seem to be learning a lesson after Solo flop. You're absolutely right about that. They are not learning their lesson at all. And kudos to you for going to see. Would it be? Yeah, it would be Jumanji 3 technically. So out of the reboots, it would be Jumanji 2. And I will say the Jumanji remake was great, because it was essentially, it was a reboot, but it wasn't just ignoring everything that came before it. It acknowledged everything that came before it, and then took the franchise in a really interesting direction. I don't know what they're going to do with another film. I feel like it could have just been fine on its own, but I totally support you going to see something else, anything else other than episode 9 on opening night, if they're going to keep going in the direction that they have. Let's see. System Air says, Odin, you must be pissed that Rian, Last Jedi, beat Villeneuve. Oh my goodness, yes. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was even nominated for Saturn Award, because again, I don't care about the Saturn Awards. They literally mean nothing. The fact that it's happening at this point of the year, especially, these are like, who cares about these awards? Because apparently everyone gets nominated at some point, because again, I've seen it on so many IMDb pages. But also at the same time, why would I care to really look up the rest of the stats? The fact that it won anything, the fact that The Last Jedi won for script of all things, just doesn't make any damn sense at all. But someone did tweet at me and say that, yeah, it also beat out 2049. And I at that point I got pissed, because it's like, I know these awards don't matter, but if you're going to give an award to The Last Jedi over what is a modern epic masterpiece that is Blade Runner 2049, you've got to be kidding me. Like, that's just, oh my goodness. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely pissed about that, because not only is it a travesty, but it also doesn't make any damn sense either. Super Anime says, oh, real quick, did you watch EVS stream last night? Cecil was gold. I did not. I saw that Cecil was on and I wanted to see it, but as I said, I was taking a break last night, so I had to do some stuff here at home, so I wasn't able to watch anything. But I saw Cecil was on, so it's on my queue of things to watch. And I love Cecil. So if y'all guys don't know Cecil, look up Cecil on YouTube, and a video of his should come up. He is hilarious. He is fantastic. Cecil is Bay. Cecil is life. The Force is Cecil. That's all I have to say about that. Sister Mary says, myths are not made to sell action figures, Rian Johnson. Yeah. That's the mindset that Rian Johnson has, and that's the mindset that Disney, or at least Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm, is supporting, and that's what's going to lead to them losing so much money. Patrick Fitzsimmons, hello, welcome to the chat. As a Star Wars fan since 1977, you cannot take back what they did to Han and Luke. The irreparable damage is done. Some things can't be repaired. I mean, I would agree with you to an extent. I do think the damage has been done, but I do feel like there are some things that could be done in Episode 9, but the right people have to be behind it. And so the starting point is get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, definitely cancel this trilogy from Rian Johnson. And then obviously with J.J. Abrams, I think that he can do a capable job. Again, I know there's some people that are critical of him. I like a lot of his work. I think that he overall is a pretty, I feel like overall he's a pretty good filmmaker, but I will at least give you that I understand why people dislike him because of his comments outside of his job, which I just totally disagree with, by the way. But at the same time, I do think that there is a direction that multiple directions that they could go in to repair at least some of the damage, wrap up this trilogy, and then start afresh with somebody who actually loves Star Wars and loves the universe and can actually build upon it. So I do understand where you're coming from. I don't think it's totally irrecoverable at this point, but I do think that there are a couple paths that they could take. Jedi Starship says, yeah, I convinced my family not to see Solo. They, of course, follow through. Yeah, again, we are the ones that bring ourselves multiple times and others to the theater. If you tick us off, it's going to have a huge impact on your numbers, period. It's going to have a huge impact on your numbers. Let's see. Sister Mary says, I know I wrote a joke about him saying that, and then Iger saying, we have a whole line of action figures for this film. Yeah, and guess what? They're some of the worst selling action figures. The action figures for Star Wars did not start to decline until The Last Jedi. When The Last Jedi came out, the numbers started to plummet. It's just, again, and yet they see no correlation with that whatsoever, and they want to give a trilogy to this guy. I mean, come on. Like, he's not only the one that lets you $700 million less than The Force Awakens, but then the continuation of that into Solo, which we're now seeing Star Wars movies losing money. No one in their right mind. I would never have thought in a million years that a Star Wars movie would lose money. I mean, obviously not make $1 billion. Sure. I mean, eventually could happen, especially if there is actual Star Wars fatigue, which there isn't. But at least I could understand that. But no, never in a million years would I thought that it would have actually lost money. Again, they're at this point now where they're totally off the deep end. System Eric continues and says, and Iger says, what about Rose Tico? She's not mythical. You said yourself she doesn't even fit into Star Wars. Then Ryan says, Rose Tico was not made to sell action figures either. Hey, and now you see all the Rose Tico action figures going on sale everywhere. I think I saw one as low as like $5. Not going to lie. Especially after watching Ethan Van Sciver and becoming a Tico path myself, I will say that if I saw a Rose Tico figure for $5, I would probably impulse buy it. Not going to lie. Because at that point, yes, is money going to them? Yes. But at the same time, I'm getting a Rose Tico action figure. I think that's a pretty good trade, personally. Wes Smith says the silver screen editions, they are great. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's why if you ever have been interested, I know the process is long, but it's relatively straightforward once you get going. For the despecialized editions, I highly recommend them because you can burn them onto a Blu-ray and, oh my goodness, they look gorgeous. I mean, you would not have guessed that someone had like edited these together. That's how well done they are. And I know that's how well the Ivan Ortega cut of Last Jedi is going to be. So I cannot wait to be able to burn that onto a Blu-ray because it's going to look beautiful. And it's also the next time I will ever watch The Last Jedi, even though it's for free now on Netflix. Never going to watch that film again until I see the Ivan Ortega cut for sure. Cannot wait to see that over the summer. I think he said he's going to finish it towards the end of summer, so I cannot wait for that. Let's see. Isaac Slaney says, I don't mind the special editions, but there should totally be an option to watch the unedited. Yeah, and it just bothers me too. These films came out in 1977, and we still don't have a high-definition version of the original films. It just doesn't make sense to me, especially now that Disney has the rights. There's no reason why they wouldn't release that. They've had several opportunities to do so, and they haven't. So I don't know if it's in spite of fans or if they're just waiting for an anniversary to be able to sell this huge box edition. Like, are they trying to wait until this trilogy is finished, sell a giant box set of all 3 trilogies, and then say, speaking of which, you now have bonus features that include the original uncut trilogy? It would be interesting to see if they would do that, but, just try and make some money off of it. And also, it would give a reason. What would be funny? That would actually be the ultimate troll, to tell everyone that, oh, we're not going to release these yet. And then all of a sudden the trilogy ends. They put all 3 trilogies into a box set. So that way people have to buy The Last Jedi on Blu-ray. They have to buy, like, maybe even throw in Solo or something like that on there. That would be an ultimate troll. I mean, would you be willing to pay that much money to get the uncut originals? I wouldn't. If they were to release them just by themselves on Blu-ray, I would probably buy them. Because, again, I do own all the Star Wars films. So that's why I justified to myself that I have the despecialized editions, because I did pay for it. But I obviously, the despecialized editions are just the better product. But I do think it'd be interesting to see if they try to, like, get money out of people by doing that. Greta, what is up, Greta? Hello. Everyone say hello to Greta in the chat. She is a SAG member here in the chat. She says, just home from a stressful day at work, but was happy to see the notification. Well, thank you, Greta, for joining. Sorry that you had a stressful day. Hopefully we can de-stress together, have a glass of wine or something, and let's all de-stress. Let's all decompress. I had a very rough week too. Today was the last week of session 2 of camp, and we had the carnival today. So there were just kids running around like mad. My kids were going crazy, and it came to the point where I was halfway through the day. Me and my other counselors just looked at each other, and we just all had that look of, I am so over this. I need to get the hell out of here because I am done. We were just all over it. We were done, and we just were ready to move on. So we've all had a very, very stressful day. In fact, they're all chatting me right now because I'm sure that one of my counselors said, I'm getting wasted tonight. And you know what? I don't drink, but at the same time, I can at least understand where he's coming from with that. But hello, Greta. Thank you for joining us. Sister Mara says, Harmy's specialized editions equals the best Star Wars. Damn right. It is Harmy. Harmy's these specialized editions. Go check them out. Again, it's a pain in the ass to get through, but once you have them, you will be so glad you went through the work. They are so great. They're freaking fantastic. Adam Davies says, don't bite the hand that feeds you, Disney. Exactly. Again, you would think that it's like business 101, but apparently these people did not take any business classes, or at least don't understand common sense, because that's not even just business. That's just common sense. System Error says, there has never been in cinema history been a more bizarre thing than Rian Johnson's forthcoming trilogy. Damn right. Again, who in the right mind would go see this film? I mean, are people going to go see it? Yeah, sure. People who are Rian Johnson fanboys or people who are just intrigued, general movie audiences will probably go see it, but it's not going to make any money. I mean, it's not going to make a profit by any means. Stephanie B, what is up, Stephanie B? Hello. Yes, you made it into a stream. I know that a lot of times you have work or you have other things going on, so thank you so much for joining us. Everyone say hello to Stephanie as well in the chat. She is awesome. Go follow her on Twitter. She is fantastic. Oh, here we go. I love this guy. Rian Johnson's crack pipe. Hello. Welcome back to the chat, good sir. Always love to see your name in the stream. Any word on Star Wars Land? So I did make a video. Oh, Star Wars Land. You mean the park? Have not heard anything about Star Wars Land. I honestly think Star Wars Land will be fine. When it comes to theme parks, they tend to be untouched by any of the nonsense that goes on with the films or with the television series or anything that is said by directors, etc. Because at the end of the day, you have the rest of the park that you can enjoy. And I still think they're going to do that. I still think they're going to do Star Wars Park fine. I think that's going to be fine. I haven't heard anything, but I mean, I love Disney. As far as Disney World goes, it's way overpriced in my opinion, but I do love Disney World. I do love the rides there. I do love obviously Universal Studios as well. So I think that it's going to do well enough though. I think it's going to be fine. I'm not worried about that one. Hello. Everyone is saying hello to Steph in the chat already. Let's see. Ryan Jackson, Crackpike says, Stephanie, Super says Cecil got blasted and started singing. That's all I'm going to say. Dude, you have sold me already. Cecil singing is already fantastic. Go check out his video on The Wizard of Oz. He, at the very end of it, sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and it's amazing. So I'm definitely going to be checking out this stream then if he got plastered. All I know is that I want him to do more streams, especially with he did one live stream on his own channel a couple of days ago, and he came downstairs after going up to get this really creepy looking mask since he's never shown his face before. the mask just looks terrifying, but it's Cecil. So you have the terrifying face, the Cecil voice, and it's just freaking hilarious. I love it. Let's see. Everyone's saying good to see you, Stephanie. Absolutely. Emma Louise says that they seem so defiant about episode 9. Yeah, absolutely. They are so defensive of it. They honestly, it seems like they just feel like nothing happened. They feel like, oh yeah, Solo, it did fine. It's barely making a financial loss. It's totally fine. We're going to make the money up. And they're just not really understanding the reality that no, they lost hundreds of millions of dollars on this project. They're going to continue to lose money on these projects unless they make some kind of change, which they seem to be ignorant of. So you're absolutely right. They're so defiant. Adam Davies says, when I heard Last Jedi beat Blade Runner, I could smell burning toast and thought it was stroking out. False alarm this time. Well, I'm glad you did not stroke out because that would not be good. But yeah, like that, who in the world, I think even, because I know a couple people in the chat aren't huge into the Star Wars universe. They like Star Wars, but they're not huge into the Star Wars community. I know there are a couple people who probably agree with this, that The Last Jedi, like, meaning that they don't have a problem with The Last Jedi. They don't think it's a terrible film. They might not like it a whole lot, but they don't really see it as problematic as much as other people do. But I guarantee you every single one of those persons would agree that Blade Runner 2049, if they saw it, was a significantly better directed, not only better directed, better visually, better better score, literally everything, but including the writing, especially the writing, than The Last Jedi. Anyone, I think, could agree with that. And if you don't, I would question your own sanity. Dead Schooled, what is up, Dead Schooled? Welcome back to the chat. Me and my friend just went and saw Solo opening night and paid for Deadpool 2 boycott. There were 20 people in there anyway. Yeah, that's what I did. Exactly, that's what I did. I bought a ticket to go see Deadpool 2 and then went to go see Solo just so that way I could have a more full opinion of it, just so that way I can make a review on it, because as I've said before, I will go see the movies that y'all don't want to see so that way I can talk about it, including Star Wars. So, and it's all because, and I mentioned this on my last live stream, it's the same mindset for me as to why I read the Twilight book, the first Twilight book. Don't be hating. I did not like it at all. I did not want to read it, but I was talking crap about it to several people because I was like, oh, this is terrible. This is stupid. And then the first question they would say, well, have you even read it? Then how would you know? And I was tired of hearing that. So I decided, well, you know what? I am going to read it just so that I can tell you how terrible it is. I read it. It was garbage. And so now I can say that. Same thing with these movies too. I'm doing the same exact thing. And I'll go see it just so that way I can say, no, I saw it. And it was indeed garbage. Emma Louise says, I never thought Star Wars would be where it is now. I don't think any of us would. I don't think any of us had an inkling that when Star Wars was being reborn with episode 7, that it would go down this track and have a film, a Star Wars film that lost money. I mean, no one in their right mind would ever have thought that. That's where we are in Star Wars right now. That's where these knuckleheads at Lucasfilm have brought us. And I hope they all get, I mean, they have to be gone at this point. Patrick Fitzsimmons says Star Wars can be recovered, but you cannot take back The Last Jedi. It's there, it's done, and will always be a missed chance to showcase the past and future together in a cinematic moment in history. I will agree with you there. And I've said this in a video before. The thing that always gets to me is that obviously in The Force Awakens, we lost Han Solo. And I feel like a lot of us were very, hurt by that. We didn't want to see it happen because, he's been such a great character. I came to terms with it because I knew that is what Harrison Ford wanted. Harrison Ford wanted that character to die in the original trilogy. So I know that he's always had that as kind of the end point of Han Solo's, existence in the Star Wars universe. What hurts me the most, though, is that they could have had Luke Skywalker in that film and not just at the end. They could have had him and Leia and Han together for one last time. And since they got rid of Han, who was not Force sensitive, does not have a Force ghost, and now we have of course lost Carrie Fisher and Luke Skywalker has been killed, we will now never see in our entire lives ever again those original 3 on screen together. And that just makes me so angry. And I feel like it makes a lot of Star Wars fans angry too, because when you think about that we will never see those 3 together on screen in those roles ever again, it's just really sad. And we blame not only The Last Jedi for that, but of course also The Force Awakens, because it was JJ who had that vision at first to have, Luke off on this, random planet, on a random island, on a random planet somewhere, doing whatever, and to choose not to bring those 3 characters back together. And I think it's a travesty. I'm so mad that we're never going to see that happen. And especially after The Last Jedi, it's all, never. I mean, the only person that can come back at this point is Luke as a Force ghost, or if they try and do some teleportation or time travel thing, could possibly fix it. But you are right about that. We can't take away Last Jedi or any of the story points from any of the films so far. Adam Davies says, you got to get a Tico toy. They're a cultural touchstone, guys. Yes, Adam Davies. Yes, they are. They are a part of our society. You are not a true Star Wars fan. You are not a true Star Wars fan unless you have a Rose Tico action figure, especially if you can get it in the bargain bin, because that, I think, raises the value of the toy because you made a profit off of it, essentially, or you could eventually make a profit off of it eventually. Jedi Starship says, for me, the Star Wars Revisited editions by Adwan are my current favorite versions of A New Hope and Empire. I've never heard of those editions, so if you have a Twitter, please link me to those. If you can on Twitter, you can find me at Odin's Movie Blog. I would greatly appreciate that. If not, talk to me later so that way I can get that, because I would definitely like to check out another version. But I will say this, though. Harmy's despecialized editions are brilliant. They look so damn good. Stephanie B says, I saw a Tico for $2 at Wally World. Did you get it, Stephanie? Please tell me you got Rose Tico for $2. That's a steal. Come on. That is something that you should have. Every person, every true Star Wars fan should have a glass case in their house with a Rose Tico action figure in it, and it should just be lit in some way, either backlit, have a spotlight on it, something, because that's how important that character is to the Star Wars universe. Tico Path for life. Subaru says, I think Disney was waiting to pick up Fox to do releases. Fox owns the rights to the original cuts, yes, but of course, I feel that in the original purchase of Lucasfilm, that they probably could have worked on. I think I don't know about that. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, we have had releases of the originals in box sets. So that's where there's a little bit of confusion. But if that is the case, then that's great. But I'll be interested to see if they try and, spike those prices up. Let's see. Dead School says George Lucas gets executive editor on special editions. He did it to screw his ex-wife out of residuals for editing the original films. That's why we'll never see them. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Dead School, thanks for the information. Jedi Starship says Greta. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, I use Twitter a lot, but I've never aired my thoughts on The Last Jedi, as I know I would end up getting a Twitter ban. No, again, there are a lot of people who put their thoughts out there. And obviously, Twitter will ban you for some of the, silliest of things. But as long as you can still air your grievances without using certain language, I feel. I mean, that's how I try and never curse on my channel, because not only is it something that I try to just do in my everyday life, not always perfect at it, not close by any means, but it is something that I feel like we can use better language overall. Again, I don't knock anybody that doesn't use, what I would consider to be proper language. Again, I hate using that expression, but again, I don't knock anybody that does that. But I feel like if you really want to express yourself, you can probably word it in some other ways that still get the message across. That's why I love to use really weird expressions. Like, that's why I love to use the expression asshat, because it's like, I don't know, just an ass and a hat together. Just funny. Everyone's saying hello to Greta. Casey Kenobi. Hello, Casey Kenobi. So what part of the country do you live in, Odin? I live in southern Louisiana. I live in New Orleans, Louisiana. So yeah. Everyone's saying hello, hello, hello. Okay, B 70 B says, okay, that mask was too much for me. So you did watch Cecil. Yes, Stephanie. Embrace the Cecil. Cecil is life. Cecil is Bay. Yes, please check it out. I love the mask. I thought it was freaking hilarious when he cut the hole in the mask too. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so much comedy gold. System Error says that mask should be banned. No, he should wear that mask every day. I want to see him do every live stream wearing that damn mask because it looks so great. Ryan Johnson's Crack 5 says you can never have too much Cecil. Never in your life can you have too much Cecil. Cecil is life. Cecil is Bay. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, now that Luke is dead, I wonder who will get to milk space cows in episode 9. Man, if those space cows come back in some way, shape, or form, maybe even just as a background character, like having like space cow milk or whatever, like selling it, that should just go away. That should never come back ever. Lost Soldier 212 says, the best was the media building in an excuse for episode 9 to die. They talked about how the fan backlash means nothing, but all the other movies coming out will take away from the take. Yeah, I talked about that too. I think it's funny how already a year and a half out, they are already prepping for why episode 9 might not do well. And guess who did it? Our boy, Scott Mendelson over at Forbes already has making excuses as to why episode 9 might not work, might not make money. And guess what? It has nothing to do with us, because it's not us that go see the movies, right? I mean, we have no control over that. We don't pay for the tickets or bring other people or buy the merchandise or buy the Blu-rays or anything like that. We have no control. We do nothing, right? We're again, because remember, just like someone said on Twitter, we're not customers. We're not customers. Think about that. We're not customers. Let's see. Jedi Starship says Jar Jar Abrams, Darth Kennedy, Ryan Hux Johnson have never read any of the EU Star Wars books, comics, etc. No, they haven't. I haven't either, but I will at least openly admit that. And also, anyone that's new to the stream, I write down any suggestions. If something sounds interesting to me, don't be offended if something doesn't sound interesting to me. It's happened a couple times already. But if something does sound interesting to me, whether it's Star Wars related or not, I have this list. I have several. So basically, I have a whole pad of sticky notes on my desk. And so I just write everything down that sounds interesting to me. I have a whole list of things, Star Wars related, not Star Wars related. And a lot of it has to do with catching up on the EU. So that is definitely something that I'm interested in doing. Obviously, I have a lot of things on my plate, so I can't catch up to them too quickly, but it is something still that I like to do. So absolutely. Lost Soldier 212 says, I bought a Deadpool ticket for Solo 2. Yes. Oh my goodness. Because again, if I was going to give money to any film, it would be Deadpool 2, because that is how you do a superhero correctly. And it's also hilarious. Sister Mara says, talking to 70B. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, I read the Splinter of the Mind's Eye when it first came out. I feel old. Never heard of that. Let me know what that is. Adam Davies says, Twilight, I made it to the page 3 and so Adam Davies says he made it to page 3. I deserve a bravery medal. If you finished it, you deserve a statue in the park somewhere. Sometimes I feel that way because it was so freaking painful. The writing is total garbage. All the characters are awful. Of course, you have the sparkly vampires, which is just totally dumb. But yes, I feel like all of us, anyone that's read any bit of the Twilight Saga, should definitely be given a medal. If not a medal, a digital cookie. I love cookies, so I love giving out digital cookies here. Jedi Starship says, worst mistake ever for Disney to make. Damn right. Sacrilege. Absolutely. Emma Louise, never seeing the band back together. Exactly. So yeah, this is getting back to the point I was making. Again, I'm sorry. I try and read every chat. So if you're still here watching, I know that I'm like at this point about 6 or 7 minutes behind. I'm sorry that does happen, but I like to read everyone's comments. So that's the reason why I do that. And so that's just the way I do it. Since we have a small community here, I feel like I can do that. And it's a really great way to engage, because I know that especially on other huge live streams, there's just so many people in there, so many comments, you know, all the super chats going on. And I feel like all the other comments and chats just get lost. And so that's something that, as long as I have a small channel, I want to be able to do that and let everyone have their voice heard, let everyone get their, you know, voice and opinion out there and have it be read. So that's the reason why I do that. So if you're new, that's what I do. That's the reason why I'm behind the chat. So that's the reason why I'm not reading it right now as it's live, because I like doing this. But yes, absolutely. And Luis, we're never seeing the band back together. And it's really upsetting, because if we could talk about the worst thing that anyone's done in the new Star Wars, you know, obviously you can critique The Last Jedi till, you know, the day is young, but I feel that the worst thing they did was not have those three back on the screen one more time. Obviously they could not have known what was going to happen to Carrie Fisher, but by killing off Han Solo, they ensured that it would never happen. So that was something that was in their control that they could have done. Let's see. Lost Soldiers. Odin, what do you think of them making plans to ruin Indiana Jones now? Yeah. So the news came out that John Kasdan, the smart aleck who wrote Solo and wrote that Lando was a pansexual and probably contributed to the film tanking because of that comment. He is now one of the writers for Indiana Jones, the next Indiana Jones film. So I have no expectations for this film now. As long as John Kasdan is attached to the project, I have no expectations for it. Because guess what's gonna? I mean, I guess since they're just rewriting history, I guess Indiana Jones is gonna come out as gay. I guess. I mean, I don't know. John Kasdan, man. I mean, anything can happen at this point. Yeah, that'd be awful, awful. Patrick Fitzsimmons says Luke and Obi-Wan will be back in episode 9 in a ghost relationship and bickering over who should teach Mary Sue. I hope not. I mean, I would love to see them both as Force ghosts, especially to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi as a space ghost, as a Force ghost. But I'd rather see it in more capable hands. Rose Tico enthusiast, yes, RTE is back. Welcome back. We missed you the other day. Evening all. Have I missed much? We've been streaming now for maybe about 30 minutes or so. So you've missed a little conversation. I'm backlogged in the chat. You probably know that at this point. But RTE, welcome back. Guys, so much love to RTE. The Hunter Wolf. Hello, Hunter Wolf. Welcome. If the entire EU, all the novels and comics, were made not canon in an instant and on a whim, why not demand they do the same to the terrible Star Wars movies they are making now? That is a fair point. Absolutely. If they can do that with the EU, if they can do that with the novels, etc., in an instant, then why can't they do that with The Last Jedi? It's possible. I don't think they're going to do that because they kind of want to double down. They've been doubling down since the bad reactions were coming out, and they seem to be continuing to do that, especially if they give Rian Johnson his own trilogy. So we will indeed see. That's a very, very good point. Let's see. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Hello, Rose. Hello, 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 hello. RT says, you didn't come in the other day. Where did you go? So I think I don't know if you're talking to 70B, but if you're talking about last night, I didn't do a live stream last night because I need to take a break. My voice was just, I mean, I had been sick over the weekend, last weekend. And I did 5 straight nights of live streams, including one that was 2.5 hours. I did one where I did 2 live streams that were both over an hour long. So my voice was tired. I needed a little bit of a break, especially since I'm yelling at kids all day. So that's the reason why I wasn't on last night. But I am here tonight, and we'll probably, definitely be back on tomorrow and probably Sunday as well. So I'm definitely going to be trying to be consistent with it, try and do it almost every day. You know, I want to, whenever I do it, I want to be able to dedicate at least an hour and a half, because I feel like that's a good enough time to be able to have some really good discussions. So as long as y'all are here, I will keep on doing them. We got like 19, 20 people. That's like the most we've had in a very long time, since like one of the first or second live streams I did. So thank y'all so much for being here. This is awesome. Again, I love talking with everybody. So please keep those comments coming. RT says, I love Space Cows. I bet you do, RT. All right, so you were talking to 70B. Yeah, she got caught up. Yeah, again, I understand work schedules are crazy. So I figured Friday night is both good and bad. Good because people are usually off work, but bad because that means people are usually doing other things, like system error. Let's see. RTE says, is Scott Mendelson the one with this sinister grin in his ID pic? Yes, that is Scotty Boy Mendelson. That is absolutely him. Lost Soldier says, LOL, now you're talking. Now you're talking poo. My drill sergeant used to always use other phrases like that when he wanted to cuss out. We were always mother fracking idiots. Dude, I can appreciate that so much, because especially as like a teacher, sometimes there's things I want to say that I just can't say. So I always appreciate people doing that. Dude, the people at Lucasfilm are mother fracking idiots. That's for sure. 70B says, I work at a domestic violence shelter for women. I didn't know that. 70B, that is awesome. That is really incredible work. Everybody, please give a shout out to 70B, because I know that cannot be the easiest job in the world. I know that you probably have heard so many just horrible stories, and oh my goodness, like that is incredible. So 70B, keep doing that work. We need more people like you doing that kind of work. I wish I did more work like that in my own life. You know, as a devout Christian, I wish I did more things like that. So 70B, that's awesome. Kudos to you. RT says, yeah, absolutely, definitely noble cause for sure. RT says, a lot of people said Deadpool 2 wasn't good. It was good then. I liked it. Is it as good as Deadpool 1? No. Are there some issues? Even though the end credit scene is amazing, are there some problems with it? Yes, but I like it a lot. I think it's really funny. I laughed a lot. I feel like I laughed as much as Deadpool. I mean, honestly, I can't remember that far back because it's been a while since I saw the first one. But I will say it is funny. It is worth seeing. It is definitely worth seeing 1,000 times more than Solo is in theaters. That's for damn sure. Don't know if that's saying a whole lot, but that's why I made it up to 1,000 times more worth it than that. Geek Out Loud. What is up, Geek Out Loud? Disney Star Wars probably should have used EU as a more direct inspiration, like comic books like comic book movies use comics. Yeah, I could definitely agree with you there. Also, we mentioned this before. Instead of making a solo film, a movie that no one wanted to see, a movie that no one was asking for, why not in one of your Star Wars story universes, why not use an obscure character? I say obscure, but you know, for a general audience like me, like general audience whose only knowledge is really the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, why not use, you know, a story about Darth Bane or so many of the other characters that exist in the U. I mean, there's so many characters. I've had so many recommendations of different things to read from this universe. So it is so rich. There are so many stories that can be told, and yet they wanted to tell the story that no one wanted to hear. I just find that interesting. Greta says Deadpool 2 was so good. It is so good. It is really, really great. RT says, all right, seem to be getting bad press. Well, again, it's a rated R horror. It's a rated R comedy. They don't always get the best press that they should be getting. At least the ones that are good. This one's really good. Not all are good. Ratboy367. So if Cecil is life, Odin is fill in the blank people. Oh, I'd love to hear that. Thank you, Ratboy. Let me hear that. I'm sure there's going to be some reference about the beard, so I can't wait to read some of those comments. Let's see. People are responding to each other. Geek Out Loud says, Odin is death? Well, I sure hope not. I wouldn't want to be death. I don't think I have the personality for that. RT says, yeah, I can imagine it can be stressful. Oh, yeah, it could definitely be. I don't know who you're talking to, but whoever you're talking to, I'm sure that it is absolutely true. Let's see. Ryan Johnson's crack pipe. Odin is serenity. That means so much to me for so many different reasons. Not only is serenity just peaceful and amazing, but it's also the name of one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time, based on one of the greatest sci-fi TV series of all time, Firefly. So I appreciate that. RT says, oh no, tell me it isn't so. John is going to write Indiana 5. At this point, he has been pegged to write the Indiana Jones film. So yeah, John Kasdan, Pando himself, is going to be writing that story. So God can only imagine what's going to be in it. System Error says, I would have been better to choose an actual turnip to write Indy 5. Even better. So if anyone's a South Park fan, it would be better for a tank full of manatees. Yeah, a tank full of manatees or sea cows. Literally, it would be better for a tank full of the sea cows from The Last Jedi to write the story than John Kasdan. That is for sure. Let's see. Ryan Johnson's crackpipe says Serenity now. Damn right. I love Serenity. Patrick Fitzsimmons says Indiana Jones 5, the milking machine monster. Dude, imagine if one of those things made it into Dead School. Yes. Digital cookie for you, sir. Indy Panda Jones. Oh, I love that. Indy Panda Jones. Super says, why do we need an Indiana 5? 4 was a disaster. Please let it end. I totally agree with you there. Again, we've had this conversation several times before about sequels and about spinoffs and whether they're proper, whether we need them, and how there are certain times when it can work and sometimes when it can't work. This is definitely one of those times where it shouldn't work, because 1 through 3 were great. The time for anything else after was kind of past. I would have understood 4 as being kind of that, last hurrah, the last film. But then they made Crystal Skull, and they brought aliens into it, and it was a total disaster. It was awful. Yes, please just let it end. RTE says they ruined it when they did 4 anyway, so they can't do much more damage now. Tell me the sunset finish in Crusade wasn't the most perfect ending to a film ever. Yes, absolutely. Again, just don't touch it. Just like Back to the Future, we talked about not too long ago. Just don't touch it. Let's see. Jeffrey Toon, what is up, Jeffrey Toon? How's it going? Welcome to the chat. Says, sorry for not being here long. It's 4:20 a.m. in the UK. Hey, I do not blame you. Go get some sleep. That is really, really late. I mentioned this earlier. I know that there's a lot of people from all over the world that watches this, just because they've told me in the stream. So that's not only awesome, but I really appreciated that. But again, if you need to sleep, man, go to sleep. You can watch this later, and you don't have to. You can feel no obligation to watch it. RT says, yeah, he could say, yeah, I said he could call me RTE because my name is Song. Yeah, and I kept getting caught up on Rose Tico Enthusiast. I would keep saying like Tika Enthusiast, and I'd have I have a lot of problems with it. System Error says it's not even doubling down. They contradict themselves constantly. It's more like bumbling down. Yes. System Error, guys, if you don't know, System Error is one of the best chatters around. His comments get a lot of digital cookies because he's just always not only spot on, but also really funny. So System Error, check out his channel. He's fantastic. Let's see. Ratboy says Odin was in his Odin sleep. Yes. So sometimes Odin needs to take Odin sleep, and that's what last night was. I needed to take my Odin sleep. Jeffrey Toon says also don't back any more teams in the World Cup. I know. Oh my goodness. I know. So if anyone doesn't know, every team that I've backed in the World Cup so far has been eliminated. My first team was Iceland. They got eliminated, and then Germany got destroyed. I will say this though. Even though I wanted Germany to win, they did not deserve to go on to the round of 16. South Korea, though, the heart that they put into that game was awesome. Like, even though they were not playing for anything because there was no chance for them to get in, they put their hearts into that game. They beat the defending champs in Germany, and they were awesome. So that was something really cool to see. But maybe I shouldn't say who I'm going to back in the World Cup, because then they might get knocked out, because I know the round of 16 starts tomorrow morning. So I'm definitely going to be up to watch those games. But yeah, Yeah, Jeffrey Toon, good shout. You were absolutely right. I probably shouldn't back any more teams. At least if it's a team I would really want to win, I should just ignore them and just say, no, I want them to lose. And then the opposite will happen, because that seems to be the logic these days. RTE says there's actually an Irish TV station called RTE. Well, that's awesome. 70B says, woo, 20 people. Yep, we're at 17 now, but we've been fluctuating. So I still, again, I appreciate anyone being here, and I feel like this is a good number. So yes, RT says 20 people. You're doing well, Odin. Well, thank you, RT. I appreciate that. Again, I love this. This is so much fun. Patrick Fitzsimmons says the biggest mistake in all of this is not the bad films, it's not the agenda, it's the attack on the fans. Yes. So again, you can take into account all those other things too. They did make bad films. They did have an agenda, but then on top of that, they attacked the fans. And that is indeed the worst thing that they could have done. Again, all those other things are bad, but the worst thing is attacking the fans. Again, you do not attack the hand that feeds you. Or no, sorry, scratch that reverse. I always get that messed up. You should not attack the people who are going to buy your product. Again, no one in their right mind would normally do that, and yet Disney is doing that. I don't understand it. It makes no sense at all. RT says we need to do more people. We do need more people like Steph. Damn right. I totally agree with that comment. RT says I haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet. That's why I'm asking. Go see it. It's really great. Again, instead of seeing Solo, instead of seeing anything else, go see that instead. Also, go see Sicario 2. Sicario 2, dude. I saw Sicario Day of Soldado last night. Freaking awesome. To make a movie about the Mexican border and not get political, that takes freaking talent. That takes dedication, and I love it. 70B says, thank you. No, thank you, 70B. You are freaking amazing, as is everyone else in this chat. Ryan Johnson's Crackpipe says, another reason why Stephanie is awesome. Yep, absolutely. Lost Soldier 212 says, 70B, love it. I teach sexual assault victim advocacy for the Army. Lost Soldier, my dude, that is really cool, too. Again, we have so many awesome people in this chat. That's why I feel like this is a moment to kind of go back to something I've said so many times before. When people attack the fans, when people attack this community, and not just, I'm not just talking about my channel, but attack this community. I mean, whether you come here from Geeks and Gamers or Ethan Van Skyver or Anna, that Star Wars girl, or Mindless Entertainment, or any of those channels, when people attack us and call us hateful people and call us just these disgusting names, and I see things like this in the chat of people who are just amazing human beings doing amazing work, it just makes me even more frustrated, because these people saying these things, saying these hateful things, have no idea who we are, have no idea what we stand for. And here we have two people in this chat alone who are doing amazing work that no one else wants to do. Like, no one else, I mean, just in general, most people wouldn't even think to do these things. And that's why these people are so special, because they're doing work that I feel like a lot of other people would not do. And so Steph, huge shout out to you. You are amazing. Lost Soldier, you are amazing too. We have two amazing people in this chat. So y'all are freaking amazing, guys. Let's see. Whoops. Sorry. While I was doing that, I got messed up in my chat. So all right, I'm back. So RT says the trailer looked good. For which one? You're talking about Sicario 2. Damn right it did. Adam Davies says, you're an absolute legend, Steph. As an ex-cop, I got to say, well done. Tough job, mate. Well, thank you, Adam Davies. Thank you for your service. That's awesome. Again, I know that's a thankless job as well. So thank you very much for your service. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, is it wrong that I would have eaten the porgs? So we have someone who would have been eating the pork with Chewbacca in the chat. No, I mean, they seem like they seem like every other kind of bird, and birds are food. So, they might be cute, but at the end of the day, they are a source of food to someone. But I do think porks are cute, though. But yeah, no judgment here, man. Let's see. 70B says, okay, yeah, definitely love cops. Absolutely. Again, thank y'all so much for y'all service. Every single one of the persons in this chat so far who has just come out and just shared what they do with their life. Not only is it just awesome, like, just to share that. I mean, again, we're good people. We don't know each other very well. We come from all different walks of life. We have someone who's watching. It's 4:20 in the morning, all the way across the world. It's just amazing that we're all here together, and we have some amazing people here. So thank y'all so much for being here. Let's see. Loving myself. Jeffrey Toon says they killed Han as a deadbeat dad in the first film. Then they thought people would want to know what this loser was like when he was young. Yeah. Jeffrey Toon, you were definitely on point with that. And again, it's not only did they do that in episode 7 to then lead us to Solo, which no one wanted to see, but then also at the same time, you have to take into account that no one wanted to see it. Like, you make this excellent point, but at the same time, no one wanted to see this film anyway. Like, even if he wasn't a deadbeat dad, I don't think anyone would have wanted to see a Solo Origins film that didn't have Harrison Ford in it, or at the very least didn't have a capable actor of doing a Harrison Ford impersonation, essentially. Like, there were other people who were much more capable of that job, and Alden Ehrenreich, again, not dissing his acting, but he was not Solo, and I feel like that was a huge mistake. Let's see. Patrick Fitzsimmons says Splinter of the Mind's Eye is a novel first published in 1978. Read it. Okay, Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Please let me know what it is about so that way I can see if I'm actually interested. But definitely appreciate the shout. Keep those coming. Jeffrey Toon says, got Splinter of the Mind's Eye, Alan Dean Foster. So is that a recommendation? Because we have two people recommending it. I don't need an explanation. RT says, I need to see an origin story film for the sea cow. Yes. RTE. Yes. Excellent shout there. Totally agree with you there. I want to see that. Lost Soldier 212 Serenity now. That was awesome. Yes. Let's see. RT says, John can do that one and stay away from Jones. Yep. And guess what? No one's going to go see it. And then hopefully that just, he can just fade away into his career. Let's see. 70B. Hello. Ryan Johnson's Crackpipe says Serenity now, insanity later. Yes, especially when I go back to camp. Get Out Loud. It says you deleted your message, but it says that I can read it. So because you deleted it, I'm not going to read it just out of respect, because I just don't know. I don't know if you want me to read it. So let me know if you want me to read those. RT says it's definitely bumbling down. Damn right. So Samara says, Nom Digital Cookie Monster. Yes, you are the Cookie Monster. Yes. Somebody says, rest your head, sir. Damn right. RT says Australia went out the World Cup, so I was done early. Hey, yeah. I mean, oh, poor Australia. I mean, I root for every underdog team, so whenever I see them get eliminated, it's just so sad. But there's still a couple of teams in there I feel like I can root for. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, don't back England. I was not planning on backing England ever. Now, do you mean that because you don't want them to lose, or are you saying not to back England because you don't like England? Let me know that, because I was never planning on backing them in the first place, because I like underdog teams from underdog countries, so that's the reason why I would do that. Super says, bumbling down is a great phrase. Damn right it is. Jeffrey Toon, Colombia, back Colombia. So assuming that means you want Colombia to lose. I'll think about it. Lost Soldier says, Odin, please don't root for Mexico or Argentina. Root for Portugal and France for me instead. Well, I don't know, because I don't want to take off Anna, that Star Wars girl, either, because she's a huge Portugal fan. So I don't really. Oh man, that puts me in a. I don't know who I'm gonna back. But I totally appreciate that. And also, I don't want to back Mexico either, because I don't want to screw with Ivan Ortega's team. So. Thanks for letting me know that, guys. RT says sums up the Forest Well anime. Ryan Johnson Crackpipe says bum that Mexico lost. Yes, but they are going on to the round of 16. Jeffrey Toon says don't buy the hand that feeds you. Yeah, but I always feel like that expression just doesn't work for what I'm trying to say. That's right. That's the reason why I always like take myself aback on it. RT says, all right, I haven't seen the first Sicario. Didn't even know there was a sequel. And I said this in my review. You do not have to see the first Sicario film to understand this film. You can go see the sequel and totally understand everything that's going on. But I think you will appreciate this film a lot more if you have seen the first one, especially as a comparison between the two different film styles, because I do think the first one is a lot better, but the second one is still really good. It's one of my favorite films of the year so far. And it's really good. So I highly recommend it. The Hunter Wolf, going to see Deadpool 2 today. Yes, go see it. It's freaking amazing. Our Ratboy367, Deadpool 2 has so many people laughing. Felt like I was at a comedy club. Yeah. Again, is there a lot of comedy parts in it? Sometimes some people might say, oh, a little too much comedy. No. I feel like you can never have too much comedy in a film like that, especially with Deadpool. And it is really, 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 really good. I didn't hide anything. Why is it saying I hid comments? I'm sorry. Geek Out Loud. I'm sorry if did I do something that I wasn't supposed to do? Please, someone let me know if Geek Out Loud was trying to get in contact with me and I did something that I wasn't supposed to do. I'm sorry about that. RT says, I was holding out for a Hugh Jackman cameo in Deadpool 2, but doesn't look like that'll be happening. Yeah, I feel like he's done. I don't think he's going to come back as Wolverine ever, unfortunately, but it would be good. Greta says, did you like the first Sicario? Heard good things about it. Yes. Sicario 2015 was my favorite film of that year. That's how good it was. Again, there were a lot of good films that came out in 2015. That was my favorite. And it is one of my top 10, 15 films of all time. I mean, that's how good it is. It's so powerful. The score is great. Also, just to sell you on it, Denis Villeneuve directs it. He's the one that did Blade Runner 2049, did Arrival, did Enemy, did Prisoners, did all these really great films. Roger Deakins, who finally won his Oscar for cinematography at the Oscars this year, he films it. And then it's written by Taylor Sheridan, who not only did the new Sicario film as well, but also did Wind River, which came out last year, which was another excellent film. So Hopefully those names mean something to you. Go check it out. It's great. Oh my God, dude, 22 people in here. What in the world's going on? What in the world's going on here? This is crazy. Hello, 22 people. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Let's see. Jeffrey Toon says, yeah, we do have a lot of good people in this community. Damn right we do. Damn right we do. Stephanie says, eat the porks. But they're really cute, man. They're really cute. Jeffrey Toon says they tried to feed Han to Chewie and Soyla. Yeah, about that. RT says, what did Chewie do with the roasted porg? He seemed to like throw it away. I thought he was, I would love to see like an extended cut with him eating it. Maybe, hey, someone shout out Ivan Ortega on Twitter or somewhere and see if he can get Chewie eating a pork into The Last Jedi recut, because I think that would be freaking amazing. Lost Soldier says pork chops. Yes. Oh my goodness. Digital cooking for you, sir. Adam Davies says I would have rounded them up and opened up a McPork. Yes, Adam. Fantastic. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, but if you like Star Wars, then you know the people in this chat as well as all share a universal care. Damn right. Absolutely. Again, the whole heart of Star Wars is about that message. So you're damn right there. 70B says, can't eat those ice foxes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't think you'd want to either. I feel something tells me there would be a lot of pain on the way down. Jedi Starship says the pork scene made no sense. Why would Chewbacca and Rey not stock up on food and provisions if they were traveling halfway across the galaxy? Hey, I totally agree with you there, but I guess they were just too damn cute. And also eating one, I think, would have taken away from the merchandise sales, because you can't sell something that was eaten in a film. I feel maybe someone knows a film that they've done that with, but I guess that was their mindset behind it. Rat Boy says, girlfriend yelled at me at the petting zoo, petting a pig, said, delicious. I would eat a pork. Yeah. See, I will tell you the story. So I actually did a mission trip to Mexico when I was in high school. And one of the things we did was we bought a pig from the village that we were staying in, and we killed it and we ate it. I could not be there for the killing of the pig because I love animals. And again, I'm not an animal rights activist by any means, because again, I eat meat and I love meat, and I ate that pork and it was delicious. That pig was delicious. And once the pig was dead, I was fine. But when it comes just to like killing a live animal, especially like that can make noises and things like that, I just I get uncomfortable with it. So but that just your mention of a pig reminded me of that story. Hunter Wolf says, porks remind me more of rabbits than birds. Some people take rabbits as cute pets. Some eat them. I don't mind Chewie eating them. I would have actually taken a bite to see what it tastes like. Probably tasted like chicken, I would imagine. Jeffrey Toon says, Splinter of the Mind's Eye is an alternative sequel to A New Hope. Okay, thank you. Yes, because I wasn't getting the full context there, because as I said, I'm totally a noob when it comes to the EU, when it comes to the novels, etc. So I always appreciate those chats. That tells me something very so yes, so that makes me so just to give you just a heads up. So again, anytime that there's something that I find interesting, as far as like a book or a television show or a movie, I will write it down if it sounds interesting. And so at first all I had was the title, so I didn't really have a whole lot to go off of, but knowing that it is indeed something of an alternative sequel to New Hope, that sounds great. So Splinter of the Mind's Eye has made the list, everybody. Mind's Eye. It has made the list. Thank you very much for that. So thank you, Jeffrey Toon, for explaining that, but also thank you, Patrick Fitzsimmons, for first. So I always give you credit. So thank you very much for recommending it. Also just says, Odin, you were awesome, and I really appreciate it. Well, thank you very much. I work with kids, and if I remember correctly, I'm thinking you said that said they may be special kids. I'm really happy with this channel community. I'm also happy with this channel as well. It's not a special needs camp. It's a sports camp. There are a few kids in there that do have emotional issues, that do have some issues that I feel like aren't being addressed by family. I can't go into too much detail about it, but I do, obviously, but what all I'm trying to say is that even though I'm doing summer camp, even though it's not specifically for special needs, there are definitely several groups that have kids, and there's a couple groups that have someone with Down syndrome. There's a couple of groups that have, kids with various, emotional issues. So I still obviously, I feel like we do a lot of really great work, even though it is not by any means again, I would never want to put myself in the same position as Stephanie B, who just does freaking amazing work. Lost Soldier, you too, you do amazing work. Everyone else who's been in here, who's just talked about what they do. I mean, I would never put myself on the same position as y'all. So, I mean, y'all are just amazing people. So this is an amazing community, though. I love this community so much. And that's why I'm doing this in the first place. If I did not like this community, if I had issues with this community, if I hated just everyone here, I wouldn't be doing this. So luckily y'all are all amazing. So y'all make this very, very easy. So RT says, what splitters the mind's eye? Star Wars book says Jeffrey Toon, Jedi Star Wars novel. So everyone's talking about that. Jedi Star Wars came out in 1978. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, I am an Englishman. Okay, so gotcha. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended you then by saying that I wouldn't support England. Again, it has nothing against the country at all. It's merely that I feel like England always has a really good team, and I like to see underdogs in there instead. Let's see. Talking about the novel. Novel. Jeffrey Toon says, rock candy, love. Lost Soldier says, now I want rock candy. I fly back home tomorrow and may pick up some for the kids. Rock candy's pretty good. Oh, sorry, I had to get the reference. So Jeff 70B says, Lost Soldier, maybe that they taste like rock candy. Dude, rock candy. Dude, that takes me back. Rock candy was freaking awesome. And then Stephanie B says, Pop Rocks. I remember Pop Rocks too. I will say this: Pop Rocks sometimes disturbed me because I did not like what was going on in my mouth at that time. Jeffrey Toon says, "Why on earth did that resistance trooper taste the planet?" Yeah, it's a really good question. Navy Lax, what is up, Navy Lax? Welcome back to the chat. Morning, people. It's 05:35 here in the Old North. Well, welcome to the chat. We have a lot of people from all over the place. So many different things going on right now. So many different time zones. I love it. Jeffrey Toon says, who does that? RT says, because they were pointing out it wasn't just snow again. Okay, gotcha. RT says, wasn't Gareth Edwards the soldier next to him? Oh, interesting. Oh, that would have been cool. Lost Soldier says he thought the surface of the planet was rock candy dust. Sadly, it was salt. Jeffrey Toon says, I'm not sure. Navy Lack says, but was Sicario as good as The Room? Well, I will say this. They were both very different films. As far as overall experience, though, oh, man, that's a difficult question. Okay, so I'd rather see The Room at midnight with like all the people there doing all the shout outs, throwing spoons at the screen, doing all that. Guys, if you've never checked out The Room, check and see if your theater has a midnight showing at all and go see it. That's the best way to see it your first, second, third, 100th time. I recommend it. It is so much freaking fun. But again, they're so different films. It's hard to say. I love Sicario, though. Sicario is definitely the better film, like in every other way, except as far as the overall theater experience, I would probably have to go with The Room, the midnight showing. Good question, though, Navy. RT says the soldier next to the salt guy looked like Gareth Edwards. Sounds about right. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, you mean Sicario 2 is better than The Last Jedi? No, I can't believe that. I know, right? Not a very high bar to jump, that's for sure. Brad Noble. Hello, Brad Noble. Welcome back. Porgs and toast, not just for breakfast anymore. Oh man, I love this chat so much. Jeffrey Toon, it might have been there where cameos. RT says, well, Edwards played the guy who pulled the switch thing in Rogue One. Adam Davey says, I tried a Crystal Fox, chipped my damn tooth. Okay, yeah. So yeah, definitely those creatures definitely probably taste like rock candy because they sure look like it. Jeffrey Toon says, was it Edwards who was brought in? Man, everyone's so obsessed with, man, was that a Gareth Edwards cameo? We need to know. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, but isn't not eating it a waste of food? So they are mocking the starving. That's an excellent point. Brad Noble, murder is tasty. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I accidentally hit someone from this hit someone from the channel. So if you're still watching this channel, I'm so sorry that I did that. I'm gonna try and find a way to unhide you from the channel. Oh my goodness. So basically I have the chat up on my phone, and sometimes when I scroll through, I'm clicking on a name for too long, and I must have accidentally clicked that. That's why. That explains why the chat was doing that. I'm so sorry. So what I'm gonna do, guys, please bear with me for a second because I don't like that I accidentally did that to somebody. So I'm just gonna have to scroll through the chat again. Sorry. Boom. Sorry. So Geek Out Loud, I am so sorry that happened. If you're still watching, I apologize. I did not do that on purpose. I am so sorry. But I have at this point unhid you from the channel, so you should be fully back into it. I'm so sorry though. If you're still watching, I am so sorry. That was totally a mistake on my part. Again, we all make mistakes. Hey, this is what happens. See, if the people at Lucasfilm did what I did and took responsibility for the fact that I made a mistake, that I did something wrong, and I totally own up to it because it was my fault. It was totally my fault. Again, obviously with my phone, but it's still my fault. I should have known better. So I am sorry. So again, Lucasfilm, I doubt you're watching, but if you do one day maybe have some troll, watch the stream, maybe Mr. Gay Tatooine himself on Twitter, you know what? maybe take this message. Maybe take this as a message. Let's see. All right. So I just gotta find myself back in the chat. So sorry guys, sorry for that delay. I am now back to the chats themselves. Let's see. RT says, I can't remember. I thought he wrote it from the outset. Data Racer 177, my chats are coming through. Yes, they are coming through now. So welcome. RT says, oh, Gareth only directed. Navy Lax, I wanted Tommy Wiseau to direct the next Star Wars film. Oh my God, dude. If Tommy Wiseau was given a Star Wars film, I would go see that day one. Even if everyone was still in charge, I would break rank with everybody and go see a Tommy Wiseau Star Wars film. If you want to see something pretty funny, if you like Tommy Wiseau, check out a video. It's Star Wars Tommy Wiseau, and basically they add Tommy's character from The Room. They add all of his lines to Darth Vader, and it is freaking hilarious. Let's see. Yes, we all see you. System Error says, Odin, your movie opinions have more credibility to me than movie awards now. Well, I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me, especially things like the Saturday Awards, which just have no credibility whatsoever, it seems. Yes, you are definitely coming through, Data Racer. RT says, I am not your father. I am not. Oh, hi, Chewie. I must tell you guys, I love Tommy Wiseau. I love doing impersonation of him. He's fantastic. We don't know where he come from. He come from certain places. He come from everywhere, but he's fantastic. You must be kidding, aren't you? Oh, hi, Chewie. Oh my God, I love that film so much. Data Racer, my first chat. Yes, Gareth Edwards was in the trench on Crate behind Salt Guy. Rian Johnson and Ram Bergman were in Rogue One too, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, I hate when people do that sometimes. RT says, all right, I thought it was him. Thanks, Data. Navy Lax says, Brad Noble, he financed it, and they used both digital and 35 millimeter. Okay, so talk about the rooms. Yes, so literally had two cameras next to each other. One was a digital camera, one was a 35 millimeter camera. And actually, when you see the cut of the film, you see that there are certain scenes that are filmed digitally, and there are certain themes that are filmed with actual film itself. It is, oh my God, it is so damn good. Again, don't go in expecting a good movie. Just go in expecting an experience, and you will love it. Oh, I love it so much. It's so great. RT says, who is John? Okay. Sorry that I'm not trying to skip y'all's chats. That just people appearing in films just has no interest to me. I'm sorry. Alrighty. So Patrick Fitzsimmons says, all for diversity, but did anyone else feel uncomfortable with Han and Chewie in the shower? Yeah. I mean, that was just to me, that was a throwaway scene that was just totally unnecessary. And I question John Kasdan for writing that in there. Data Racer says, you sure you want to know? It ruined the scene for me after finding out. Okay. RT says, England needs all the support it can get. Not been doing too well lately. Okay, well, I'll definitely be checking out. Again, I cheer for every team as long as they play well. Again, as long as they play with heart and they play very, very well, I'll cheer for them. I have no problem supporting them. So I'll definitely check out their games. That's for sure. Brad Noble says, I support England. Just don't try invading again. Yes, please. RT says invading what? And Brad Noble says the US of A. Yeah, but at this point, maybe this would now be the time to do. I don't know. Jeffrey 2 says maybe Rian Johnson's head was used as a super test bomber. Hey, here's what might be happening. Maybe Rian Johnson's head is what's going to be the big thing to destroy and blow up in episode 9. Hey, stranger things have happened in the Star Wars universe, that's for sure. RT says, oh, Independence War reference, 1812. Again, Geek Out Loud, I'm so sorry that you got hidden. Again, if you're still in the chat, I'm so sorry that happened. Again, it was a total mistake on my part. RT, wasn't 1812 Napoleon. Navy says Croatia has been a wonderful surprise this year. Yeah, Croatia's been playing awesome this year, so I definitely support Croatia, that's for sure. Jeffrey T says Napoleon and the Anglo-American War. Lost Soldiers, Sicario 1 was amazing. Damn right it was. I really want to see part 2. I'm just praying Del Toro doesn't have a pointless stutter for no reason. No, wait, Rian Johnson didn't write and direct this one. Yes, he does not. He is instead a badass. So as much of a badass as he was in the first film, they focus so much more on his character. And there is something that happens. I'm not going to get into spoilers here on the stream quite just yet, since there seem to be people that are interested in it. I'll probably spoil it on a future live stream. But there's a part towards the end where something happens, and oh my goodness, it subverts expectations in a good way and has just this ultimate payoff that's fantastic. RT says they were happening at the same time. Okay, so you're all talking about the war still. The war, the war, the war. Rat Boy says, let Tommy do one shot like Marvel does on DVDs. Dude, that would be fantastic. That would be amazing. Brad Noble says, shit, this turned into a history chat. Yeah, that's why I'm skipping some. So again, I'm sorry I'm skipping your comment, but again, not something that, again, I love history, but just not in this chat. Jeffrey 2 says, very good impression. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. RT says, well, let's face it. What more damage can Tommy do that hasn't been done already? And I've had here. Okay, if anyone can save Star Wars, it's Tommy Wiseau. I'm going to say that right now. Brad Neville says betting Tommy would jump in the no. Brad Neville says he thinks that Tommy would jump into the Kathleen Kennedy dung hole. I don't think he would. I don't think Tommy has the wherewithal, like the sense of reality, to be able to like to fully jump in on any of those things. I think he would just be making, and also too, he and Greg Sestero made a new film that they broke into 2 parts called Best Friends. I got a chance to see it early. It's going to open wide in the fall, and it is hilarious. And if you watch it, I don't think there's any way that Tommy's philosophy politically or socially would match up at all with Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, even just watch The Room. The way he treats female characters is definitely not something that Kathleen Kennedy would support by any means. But I mean, that would be hilarious, though. Adam Davies says, I'm suspicious of whatever Jan Kasdan writes words. Yeah. Ever since he said pansexual, it just, everything is now in question. Patrick Fitzsimmons says, I'm now going to go in the garden and practice lightsaber combat as the sun comes. Life is good. That sounds pretty good to me. Navy Lax says, I'm all for diversity. That's why we need bald, overweight men represented in Star Wars. Hey, that's actually a really, really, really good point. Navy Lax says, I'm all for diversity. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got that. RT says, is he just rebelling against his father? I mean, I guess you could make that point talking about John Kasdan there. I mean, because Lawrence Kasdan is, a pretty well-known name, and I really think that they just had his name attached to Solo just to give it some kind of credibility to it. But yeah, John Kasdan is just riding the coattails of Lawrence Kasdan, and John Kasdan is just garbage. So, and his movie, which lost $200 million, is proof of that. Let's see. Data Research says Ruin Johnson and Ram Bergman played the Death Star gunners in Rogue One, standing by the Death Star super laser as it fires. They tainted Rogue One for me finding out those knuckleheads were in there. I can understand why that would. RT says Lawrence Kasdan's son. Why are you writing this stuff, John Kasdan? It's about rebels, isn't it? I'm rebelling. Yes. Yes, RTE. Thank you for that. Brad Noble, was it meant to be funny? Jeffrey Toon, just look to see who Tommy Wiseau is. Yeah, he's slightly deranged. Yes, he is, but he's also an amazing human being. Check out a video compilation of Tommy Wiseau, and it's freaking amazing. Lost Soldier 212 says, I'd love to see Tommy meet and impersonate James Franco. Dude, that's another great movie that went under the radar. I've caught up with the chat, so I'm going to put the phone down for a second. Dude, that is another amazing movie that got shafted at award season. The Disaster Artist is amazing. So if anyone's seen it already but hasn't seen The Room, I think you'll appreciate The Room a lot more. But I recommend going to see The Room. Go to see The Room at like a midnight showing, and then at some point go and watch The Disaster Artist. James Franco is amazing in the film. Like, he becomes Tommy Wiseau. It is insane how great he is at the impersonation. The other characters, the other actors, not really as good, not as believable as him as Tommy, but it's hilarious. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend going checking out The Disaster Artist. I would recommend seeing The Room first, so that way you can at least understand and appreciate every single reference to the film. I actually when I went to go see Best Friends, which premiered here in New Orleans, they had, of course, all the merchandise on sale. So I actually bought a script, the original script of The Room, the original screenplay of The Room. And it's amazing because there are so many things that are in the screenplay that never made it into the film or were changed. And it's pretty fascinating stuff because there's some dialogue in there that I would have loved to have seen in the actual movie itself. Like, it is just freaking insane and amazing. Let's see. Brad Neville says Last Jedi was just a mess, and now Indiana Jones is going to get this SJW treatment. Yeah, if John Kasdan stays on. So I honestly think everything that's been happening with Star Wars is going to hurt people like John Kasdan, is going to hurt people like Rian Johnson, because if their films turn out to be toxic, meaning that they're not going to make any money at the box office, because I know I'm not going to go see another John Kasdan film. If Indiana Jones keeps being a John Kasdan production as far as his writing it, I'm not going to go see it and support it. I mean, I might go see it. By saying that, I means I'm not going to pay to go see it. I might go pay and see it. I might pay another, give my money to another film and go to see it instead. But yeah, I mean, anything that he writes, anything that Rian Johnson directs in the future, I have no interest in it whatsoever. It's just ridiculous. Let's see. Navy says, can someone please tell me why everyone today has to be everything today has to be written like Game of Thrones? Why can't we have some good old fashioned fairy tale? Yeah, I agree with that. It's interesting that every fantasy film now, every fanciful, fantasy. Sorry, I don't know why I was struggling for a word there. Is like Game of Thrones, where it has to be violent, has to have a lot of nudity. I mean, even Westworld too is like a sci-fi fantasy, and it's the same thing. There has to be a lot of violence, there has to be a lot of nudity. And again, I love those shows, but I don't watch the shows for those reasons. You could cut all of those things out of the shows and it would still be just as good because the writing is strong. So you make a really good point. Why don't they focus more on the writing and make really great stories and not have to really go the Game of Thrones route? I totally agree with you there. Absolutely, Navy. Brad Noble says, hate me, but I love Franco. I love Franco too. I think he's hilarious. I really do. And he gained the most respect for me for his impersonation of Tommy Wiseau. His performance of Tommy, I mean, not even just an impersonation, his performance of Tommy Wiseau, because it wasn't just the voice. He literally became the person. It was fantastic. Let's see. RT says Franco was good in Spider-Man. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I like Franco. Greta says, I was so mad that James Franco didn't get an... Dude, yes. So Greta makes a great point. So that was what I was talking about with award season. James Franco did not get nominated for his portrayal of Tommy Wiseau in The Disaster Artist. He was getting so much buzz. He was nominated for Golden Globe. He was getting nominations everywhere. And then there were allegations that came out. Remember, that was when the whole Me Too movement was just blowing up. Allegations came out against him. Turned out to not be true, but it happened right during voting for the Oscars. And so the guy didn't even get nominated. So it was just a total robbery because he just is amazing. Like his performance deserves an Oscar. Like not just to be nominated, but he even deserved possibly to win the Oscar that year. RT says, I keep confusing Franco with Ethan Hawke. Data says, yeah, I heard that The Disaster Artist was good for my college homies who work in the Hollywood now. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's so great. Jeffrey Toon says, Lawrence Kasdan wanted to kill everyone in ESB. The Kasdans are weird. Yeah, they are very, very weird people. Brad Noble says, ever see Franco's Wiggles SNL skit? No, I have not. It's gold? Okay. I'm going to have to check that out later. Lost Soldier, movie hop. I'm with you, Odin. Damn right. I'm absolutely going to movie hop that film. Because again, I want to be able to come on these streams and all my videos to be able just to talk from experience. Again, nothing against people who don't see these things and still talk about them. But that's just for myself. It's not for any justification other than to justify it for myself. I don't feel that I have the right to talk about something until I see it or I have the ability to speak on something. That's why I read Twilight. That's why I go see movies that I don't want to go see. It's because if I want to talk crap about it, I want to be coming from a place of, well, I saw it, so I know what's in there. So let's see. RT says Harrison Ford wanted to die in Empire, though. Exactly. And that's the reason why I have that mindset for him. Let's see. Navy says, to me, Guardians of the Galaxy is the new Star Wars, dude. Guardians is amazing. Again, if you want to know how to do a film right, filmmaking 101, do what James Gunn did. He took obscure characters that most people, even comic book readers, again, a lot of my friends are comic book readers, and they had either never heard of them or knew very, very little about the Guardians of the Galaxy. They were able to turn these obscure characters into probably the most popular franchise at this point in Marvel. Like, it's just insane how big it is and how obscure the characters were. I love Guardians of the Galaxy, both Volume 1 and 2. Volume 1 is definitely better, but Volume 2 was very, very strong as well. So just what they were able to do with that is how you make a good film. Again, you focus on story, you have good actors in there. What do you need for that? A good casting director. As I said, Solo needed two things, a good writer and a good casting director, and unfortunately did not have either of those for the most part. There are a couple of good actors in there. Paul Bettany being one. I like Paul Bettany a lot. And also Woody Harrelson. Oh, Woody Harrelson. Another great movie. Woody Harrelson just made me thought of a really fantastic film that came out last year that 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri is a really, really fun film. Not very long either. I love it. Let's see. Data Racer says Lucasfilm gave John Kasdan a promotion to write Indy 5 after he wrecked Solo. Sanity and common sense are non-existent at Lucasfilm today. You are damn right, Data Racer. Like, that is so true. Like, literally, he penned the film that's going to lose. I've said this on several videos already. That film is going to lose $200 million. Like, at least $200 million. It could lose up to $300 million at the end of the day. And yet that person is going to be given Indiana Jones 5, like, especially after Indiana Jones 4, you already have fans that are going to be very wary of it, are going to be very, like, critical of the film. So now you bring on this knucklehead, like, come on, like, that's ridiculous. RD says, don't know I'd go that far, Navy. Super says the shift in the fantasy genre starts to make Game of Thrones less unique. Yeah, I agree with you there. Jedi Starship says, as technology gets better, 10 to 15 years, fans will be making their own sequels of these films with photorealistic versions of our favorite old original trilogy cast. Yeah, I mean, they're already doing that. I mean, there are already these people, one of my friends showed me this, that you can now, there's a technology now, you can make any person pretty much look like they are saying anything at any point. So we could definitely have the technology for that. But even let's look at the now. So I'm going to take a break for the chat just to let it build up a little bit. But look at it even now. Ivan Ortega is taking a property, re-editing it, adding his own material to it, including him fighting a lightsaber battle. And he's going to re-edit all of it together and make one high-definition cut. That's amazing. Like, that's the technology that we have already. So imagine, so he's doing this with Last Jedi. I would love to see, especially if this does well, which I think it will, I would love to see Ivan Ortega do a recut of Solo. Because as I said before, Solo is not a terrible film. Again, it's a C film. And it's not a good film. It's not total hot garbage either. I mean, there's some quality to be, there's some quality that's in there. But I will say this, if he could recut it, he could possibly make Solo a B level film, maybe even a B plus film, because he's that talented, especially if he adds some stuff. Obviously, we know he's probably going to cut out L337, or at least have her show up, have her get destroyed, just so that we can keep that moment. But I would love to see Ivan Ortega take a shot at that film. I think that would be freaking amazing. Also, guys, if you like what you're seeing right now, hit that like button. Again, it doesn't take very long, but it helps me out, and also I greatly appreciate it, especially since we have 20 strong in here right now. Hit that like button, please. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get those likes up. Let's break 1,000 like. I could only wish to ever get to that point of like from Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. But yeah, if you're in here right now and you like what's going on, if you're having fun, hit that like button. And also, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button as well. I greatly appreciate that. But let's go back to the chat, guys, because this is all about you guys. Let's see. Lost Soldier says, you think the D&D Star Wars will be Game of Thrones with nudity, incest, bloodshot? I don't think so, because it's still Disney, and I think that at this point, with all of the series coming up, so not only his, but also Jon Favreau's series, I think the plan is to release those on the Disney network, which is supposed to come out either this year or next year. And because it's going to be coming out on a Disney-centered network, they can have, TV 14, so they can have violence in their shows. I don't see them have blood violence. I don't see them putting in sex though. I don't see a Disney property doing that. And also, it shouldn't be in Star Wars. It shouldn't be in Star Wars in the first place. So I don't think they will. Trevor says, personally not a fan of all the sex and nudity. They are using it to attract viewers. They lose a viewer. And also, that's not just for Game of Thrones. That's for HBO in general. I feel like every single show they make has to have nudity, has to have, severe, like crazy violence. And, the violence doesn't bother me as much. It still does, but the nudity especially, it's not necessary. Like, I look at these, it's so funny because every time that me and my wife watch Game of Thrones, sometimes, we watch the very beginning where they have like all the, this is rated MA for, nudity, violence, etc. And whenever it says nudity, all of us, we're always like, I wonder how they're going to use it though. And every time they do, we think to ourselves, yeah, that wasn't necessary. They could have had the same episode with the same emotional beats, with the same incredible screenplay, and not had the nudity in it. It's just not necessary. Greta says he won the Golden Globe. Actually, that's right. Yes, because thank you for clarifying that. So because of the Golden Globes, they split drama in a different category than comedy. He won for Best Actor in a Comedy. And of course, at the Oscars, they put them all together, which, I think is both good and bad at the same time. But he didn't even get nominated, which I thought was a robbery. Super Anime Gamer says, I honestly think Westworld is the way it is because HBO likes to show off. Yeah, exactly. It's an HBO problem. It's not necessarily a Westworld or a Game of Thrones problem. I feel like it's an HBO thing because all their shows do it. Brad Noble says D&D should just be Drist Do Durden? Drist Do Durden? Please explain that one. Brad Noble says Dark Elves rock. Jeff Cotto, what is up, Jeff Cotto, what is up, man? Yo, Odin, may the force be with you and everyone on here. One love, everyone. One love to you, Jeff Cotto. Everybody say hello to Jeff in the stream. He is another really great YouTuber as well. So please definitely give him a shout. All right. Oh, man. So I am a little bit behind in the chat. And I see some people are leaving. I'm so sorry. So, guys, if you're still on, I'm going to get to those comments. So I don't know if you can stick around, but if not, have a good night, guys. If you are leaving, if anyone is leaving. So I'm gonna get to all the comments, though. So if you want to watch later and you want to see if I mention you, then go right ahead and do that. But hit that like button before you head out. But anyway, let me see. Let's see. Navy says, the nudity is not a major problem. It's the whole Greystone, Grayson, everyone is evil thing, which gets boring and has bled over the Star Wars, especially Last Jedi. Yeah, I agree with you there. All the characters are essentially the same. Data says the Twilight Saga is better than Star Wars sequel trilogy, in my opinion. I wouldn't go that far. I understand. Oh my. Okay, I understand where you're coming from. I don't. That's pretty bad. Like, that's pretty far for me, because at least there's some production value in the Star Wars trilogy. I couldn't say that. Sister Mara says, I don't know why they think 9 will do better than Solo. I think it will do worse. Who gives a monkeys about it? Cardboard characters milling about inside the twitching carcass of the Star Wars universe. Yeah. As I said before, at this point, I don't think it's going to lose money. I think at this point, at best, it's going to break even, which is still terrible, because in the end, you're essentially still losing money, because it affects, toy sales, it affects Blu-ray sales, all those things. So I definitely understand where you're coming from there. I don't think it's going to do worse than Solo because of two reasons. One, I doubt they're going to fire the director 80% of the way through and then reshoot everything, because that's what balloons Solo's budget so much. At the same time, though, they're still going to spend like $400 million or so on this film when you add in marketing. So they still need to make, at that point, they still need to make like $715 million just to break even. And so when you take that into account, then it's very obvious then that this film is, it's going to be very hard for that film to break even. I think that film is going to do Justice League numbers, or at the very best, Batman v Superman numbers. So Batman v Superman, for anyone that doesn't know, did like 850 million worldwide, while Justice League did like 653 million worldwide. Why do I know those ranges off the top of my head? Because I look at numbers a lot. I like boxofficemojo.com. It's a really great site. But anyway, those are the numbers that I think it's going to do. I don't think, if anything's going to happen with episode 9, I think it's not going to hit $1 billion. And for an episodic film not to hit $1 billion at this point would be awful. That would be a bust, in my opinion, for them. Navy says, sorry for misspelling, it's very early over here. Hey, I don't blame you at all. Brad Noble, just make a Drizzt movie. Let me know what that is. Brad Noble says spelling is for chumps. Brad Noble says, right. Super says, Lucasfilm is like Marvel. When you work for them, you feel upwards. Sounds about right to me. Brad Noble says, Underdark Drizzt movie would make bank. I don't know what that is. Please explain that to me. Lost says, John Kazan, is there a term for people who have sex with ancient statues? Yes. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, Indiana Jones, the Pando who loves statues. That's going to be the name of the film, if it's going to be written by John Kasdan. Greta says, speaking of Woody Harrelson, my friend worked with him on a movie recently, and he said he didn't do any reshoots for Solo. Probably he was too expensive to bring back. Hey, you know what? I would not be surprised by that at all. As I said, they shot 80% of the film and reshot most of it, so there were definitely some parts and some scenes that were probably left from Lord and Miller, but a lot of it was indeed reshot. So that's interesting, though, that Woody Harrelson did not take part in the reshoots. It makes you wonder if all the Woody Harrelson scenes were fine and filmed, etc., and if all the other ones had to be refilmed as well. But I love Woody Harrelson. I think he's great. Navy says, I always wanted to see Indiana Jones with his daughter. I bet they could write something really funny based on that. Probably. Brad Noble says, SJWs would love it. Rian Johnson's crack pipe. Gotta go. Daughter's car broke down. Oh, no, I'm so sorry to hear that later, Odin, my brother. Well, thank you very much, Rian Johnson's crack pipe. One of the best names ever on YouTube. I always appreciate you in the chat. Thank you so much for supporting me. And guys, go check out his channel. Go check out his Twitter. Again, if you ever want to leave shout outs in here, especially you, Rian Johnson, Rian Johnson's crack pipe, please go ahead and do so. You are awesome. So definitely have a good night. And also good luck with that. I know that is not going to be fun for you. So good luck with that. All right. Everyone's saying see ya. Navy says, kind of the way Bruce Willis had a relationship with his daughter in The Last Boy Scout. Super Anime Gamer says, see ya. Brad Noble's Drizzt is John Wick. I love John Wick. So wait, is Driss a movie or a character that's like John Wick? Because if that's the case, RT says N in Die Hard 4 Navy. Oh, is this an actor or is this a character or is this an actor? Please let me know. I'm lost on this, guys. Brad, let's see. RT says, no, she's saying night. Okay. Jeffrey Toon says, I read somewhere that some actors are beginning to take out legal protections so nobody can use them in films after they are dead. Hey, especially with all the technology going on, what they did with, Grand Moff Tarkin, it's kind of it's cool, but it's also creepy at the same time because I feel that they need to protect themselves and their families. Because keep in mind that especially a lot of these actors, especially if they make some decent money, their image is what they get paid for essentially. So for their image to be replicated without any possibility of compensation to their families, that is definitely something scary to think about. So it's interesting though that people would not want it to happen at all. I can understand, saying, "Oh, I'll allow it as long as there's compensation," but I guess I can understand it to an extent, that's for sure. 22 people in here. Hello, everybody that's joined. Please add into the chat. We're having a good time here. And also, if you like what you hear so far, hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. And also, if you haven't done so already, subscribe. We are having a lot of fun reading all the comments. That's why I'm a little bit behind. Oh, man, I'm like 6 minutes behind at this point. So thank y'all so much for joining. This is great. Brad Noble says, I'm kidding. Ratboy367 says, I just read they are making a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and Jim Carrey is Dr. Robotnik. Well, despite Jim Carrey's craziness outside of film roles, he is a really good character actor and voice actor, so that might work. That might actually work. RTE says, yeah, it's caused a bit of a quandary. Trolling. Jeff Cotto says, how about that apology, guys? Ode my broham. What's up, everyone? What's up, Jeff Cotto? Once again, yeah, dude, the apologies. Oh, these apologies are just so half-hearted, and it's just the trolling is just so strong today. Lost says, I'm okay with violence in a show about war. Yeah, me too. But they do too much nudity and sex on all HBO shows. I really hope Star Wars doesn't push the envelope too far at this point. Yeah, again, that stuff does not belong in Star Wars. That stuff should not be in Star Wars. And as it said before, Star Wars is oftentimes viewed by a lot of people as like a kid's universe. Obviously, we know that it's a lot more than that. It's a family universe. It's not just for kids. It's for kids. It's for fathers. It's for mothers. It's for the entire family. And so to add stuff like that into the universe is just not really coinciding with what the universe was meant for from the very beginning. So I absolutely agree with that. RT says, leave Mega Man alone. Oh my goodness. So that reminds me, there's a really great video on YouTube called Top 50 Worst Video Game Voice Acting. Check it out. It's hilarious. Me and my friends quote it all the time, and they have something from Mega Man because there is someone who did one of the characters from Mega Man, and he just stumbles over all of his lines, and they kept it in the game, and it is just freaking hilarious. It's fantastic. So go check out that video if y'all can. Everyone say hi. Mark Oquist. Yo, what is up, Mark Oquist? Welcome to the chat. Hello. RT says, no, I wouldn't go that far. I couldn't even get through the first Twilight film. Yeah, me neither. I mean, oh my goodness. The films alone are painful. The book is bad enough. The films are even worse. Lost Soldier said, Jeff Cotto, that was not an apology, bro. It was a Jonathan being sarcastic and thinking he's better than George Lucas. Damn right. Yeah, totally ridiculous. Not even an apology. Just total trolling. And I mean, it's just amazing because, again, if y'all haven't checked out on Twitter today, there was this whole thing. Jesse Milestone got involved with this guy's Twitter is actually called Mr. Gay Tatooine, and he just trolled a bunch of people. Demon Scythe got involved. He was rocking it. He was putting such great arguments out there. Jesse Milestone got involved. She was putting really great arguments out there. And this guy literally came back with no credible arguments and was just trolling everybody. So I eventually blocked him because I don't want to support trolling. I don't want to give him the time of the day. And it's not worth my time. It's not worth your time. It's not worth anyone's time. Brad Noble says, how are a Salvatore never got a movie is beyond me. Navy says, RT, okay, talking to someone else. Jeffrey Toon says, I've run out of words to describe how bad Rian Johnson is. The smug little I found 3 more. Yes, man. Yes. Oh, those are such great words. Jeff Cotto says, let Mark Hamill direct episode 9. I don't know if he has the directorial capacity for that. And also, though I think he's a lot better than like Kathleen Kennedy and some of the others, obviously he does speak vocally about his own politics, which, I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. He keeps them kind of where they should be, though. I feel, at least more so than other people do. I don't know if he would be a good director, though. People might disagree with me on that one, though. Brad Noble says D&D, Dark Elf, Ranger, Drist. Super Anime Gamer, thank you very much for giving me context, because everyone's been talking about Drist and I have no idea who that is. Thank you for Super Anime Super. I give you the digital cookie for explaining this to me. Drist is a dark elf, and he's from a Dungeons and Dragons novel trilogy. I've never read it before, but a friend of mine loves it. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Thank you again. Brando says, yes, I'm a geek. Hey, all geeks are welcome here. I love geekdom, and I really wish I'd gotten into Dungeons and Dragons at some point, because ever since I've seen Stranger Things, I've wanted to get into D&D, but of course, it's like, at this point in my life, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I know enough people to be able to start a game. Jeff Cotto says, Indie Pando Jones. Yes, Jeff Cotto, absolutely. RT says, Woody one take Harrelson. Yep, that's how much of a badass he is. All right. Everyone's saying thanks to Greta. Greta says, got to go to bed. We'll probably be less tired tomorrow if you're doing the live stream. Good night, everyone. Yes, I'm planning on doing another live stream tomorrow evening. I'll probably do it earlier in the evening since I do not have work or anything else going on. So, yes, I will definitely. So, for anyone that is subscribed already, what I'm going to do is after probably sometime tomorrow, like in the early afternoon, I'm going to put a time, probably maybe like 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, try and make it a little bit better for some of the people who are in Australia or the UK or anywhere, wherever you are right now. So I'm going to put an event scheduled in there. So just check the YouTube channel. I'm going to post it on Twitter as soon as I schedule it as well. So that way, if anyone wants to be a part of the live stream again, you are more than welcome to. Again, I love everyone being here. This is just fantastic. The fact that we've been steady over 20 viewers at this point is just awesome. So y'all are freaking amazing. I love y'all so much. So yeah, good night, Greta. Thank you so much for joining once again. You have been freaking amazing. You've been joining almost every live stream, even if it's just for a little bit. So Greta, thank you so much. You are awesome. Lost Soldier says, oh, Drist, I remember him. Wasn't he a drow? I don't know what that is. RT says, Bruce Willis had a daughter in Die Hard Ford is what I meant. Okay, gotcha. Super says, night. Brad Noble says, Odin, you would love Drist, the Drist books. I probably would. I would probably like a lot of things, but as y'all guys know, I have so many things on my plate. I have so many things that I have to read. Navy says, I'll be honest, the Tarkin scenes looked like the guy was wearing tights over his head. Yeah. So again, it was really cool, but it also looked like CGI. It also just did not work very well. I think that the Carrie Fisher CGI was worse, but the Grand Moff Tarkin was not much better in my opinion. So yeah, it's really creepy that they can do that, and the technology is only going to get better. And I don't know how I feel about that. I really do not know how to feel about that at all. Super says, I forgot who authored the Brooks, but Drit's novels are literally called the Dark Elf Trilogy. Okay, cool. Is that something I should put on the list? Let me know. 70B, Jeffrey Toon, imagine being in the original trilogy and then you die and they stick you in The Last Jedi. I know. Oh my goodness. It's so depressing. Again, we're never going to see the big three on screen ever again. And it's just so sad. RT says, I don't know. He pulled the voice off either. Really? Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm getting so lost here. Wes Smith, just got back. Quick question. What do you think of Netflix and its in-house shows like Bright? So I only watched the very beginning of Bright. I wasn't too impressed with the CGI, but I do want to give it another chance. As far as its in-house shows, like its in-house content, they do have some really good things. Their partnership with Marvel is great. We've talked about this on the live stream before. Everything they're doing with Marvel right now is amazing. I know House of Cards is going through a lot of trash right now with Kevin Spacey, but House of Cards was a really great show that was an in-house Netflix production. So they do some really good work. They have some really good television shows. They have some really good movies. They also have some really good comedy specials. A special that I wanted to do a review on, but I didn't have time to, but I highly recommend is if anyone is a Steve Martin or Martin Short fan, they did a Netflix special and it's freaking hilarious. It's all really, for the most part, clean comedy, which is very rare in today's world. It's all very smart comedy as well. It's all about timing and it's all about just being on. Like those are like two comedy legends and they just are still at the peak of their game. They're just amazing people. They just do such amazing work. And I highly recommend you checking it out. They do get political at one point, but it makes sense within the context of the show. So it's really great. I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix though. And it's Martin Short and Steve Martin. I highly recommend that you check that out. But yeah, Netflix does some really, really good stuff. Brad Noble Tarkin had the best Halo cutscenes ever. Let's see. Navy says Porn Wars. That's a whole other thing. Oh, Lord. Yeah. RT says, oh, yeah, Mega Man in the old cartoon was awful. Navy says, look, after Mega Man for Zero, what am I fighting for? James Diaz. Hello, James Diaz. Welcome to the chat. Darth Kennedy and her boy toy Johnson has to go. Damn right. They have to go. They definitely, at this point, there's no justification for keeping them around. They're going to continue to drive Star Wars into the dirt, and they're not going to make any money, so why keep them around? Pretty common sense to anyone with a brain, it seems. Super says, oh, yeah, the author was R.A. Salvatore. Trevor Toon says the original Resident Evil game had awful voice acting, and that Ashford fellow, Enrico Veronica. James Diaz says Dave Filoni for Lucasfilm CEO. Yeah, Jeremy for Geeks and Gamers has talked about this before. He's again, I don't know if he has the experience to be CEO, but he should definitely be involved. He should definitely be the person that they go to before they greenlight any decision creatively. He should be the head of creative for Lucasfilm. That is for sure. Because again, I'm in the process of watching the Clone Wars right now, and the Clone Wars is fantastic. RT says, I meant the late 80s Captain N cartoon, Brad. Susan Mayer says, Odin, fun fact, M. Night Marzipan. Yes, I love any variation of his name. Was going to do Indy 4, but he couldn't work things out with Spielberg. Well, at this point in his career, I think it would have been interesting. Back then, I don't know if he could have pulled it off. Brad Noble, the trilogy of books is a good start. Okay. Jeffrey Toon, Jill, you are the master of unloosing. Yes, Jill, you are the master of unlocking. It's like, no, it's Joe, here is a lockpick. It might be useful for you, who's the master of unlocking. Oh my goodness, guys, check out that video. 50 worst voice acting of all time. It's so great. One of my favorites is, Dennis, help me, Dennis. And then, of course, one of the best lines is, that's what you should have done in the beginning. I say that line almost every day because it's just so great. Once you watch that video, you're going to be quoting it nonstop. Go check it, especially if you're a video game fan. Again, I'm not a big gamer, but even though I'm not a big gamer and I didn't get a lot of the references to the games, it's still funny. Go check it out, guys. Jeffrey Toon says, damn it, I'm tired. Yeah, man. Dude, if it's too late for you or too early for you, please get some sleep, man. You do not have to stay up. Navy says, Jeffrey Toon, I found something. It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against things. Brad Noble, Odin is going to want his own Black Panther of wondrous power. What? Super says the books are actually pretty short, easy reads from what I know. Okay, great. Brad Noble says, yeah, I'm assuming that means you want me to add that to the list. So once I hear that name one more time, I'll add that trilogy to the list. That's for sure. Jeffrey Toon says my parents and one of my friends said Bright was quite good. That's good to hear. Yeah, I watched the very beginning and CGI was a little shaky, but I liked the overall story. I know it got plastered by critics, but again, critics these days, especially on Rotten Tomatoes, can't really trust everything that they say, especially with their views of. So basically, they've kind of just destroyed Sicario. Not too much. It's still like in the 60s or 70s at this point. I think it's at the upper 60s right now on Rotten Tomatoes. But that's because pretty much all critics have a liberal spin to them, and this film does not take the liberal direction that I think a lot of them wanted it to, because it does take Sicario 2, at least De Soldado. It takes place on the Mexican border, so I think they were wanting it to take certain political directions, and it didn't. It stayed true to the story. It told only the facts that needed to be told, and that's why it's great. The fact that they made a movie about the drug cartels on the Mexican border without being political, that's pretty damn impressive in my book. So definitely go check that out. I know I shouted that movie earlier, but seriously, guys, it's one of the greatest films right now out. Brad Noble says, Hunter in the Dark is Drist being Rambo to escape. So Drist, that's the one that I need to write down. Drist. And that's D&D, Drugs and Dragons. Awesome. RT says, yeah, nobody watches RE for the dialogue. Brad Noble, now I'll shut up about Dark Elves. Wes Smith, cool, I'll give it a look. Yeah, me too. Adam Davies, did you see Netflix Altered Carbon? It's okay, but I couldn't recommend the book more. Oh, but I couldn't recommend. Oh, okay, I see what you mean there. So great read, Richard K. Morgan, Altered Carbon. Yeah, I've heard great things about the source material. I have heard those mixed things about the Netflix show. So I probably would check the book out before anything else. Sorry, I'm trying to get this light back on because I have a light on my face, because if not, it's just backlight and then my face is dark. So, but now my face gets overlit, and because I'm white, I'm so damn white. I'm white like the sun sometimes. I mean, summer camp gives me a little bit of a tan sometimes, but yeah. I'm sure y'all gonna have fun with that in the chat. Super says Netflix comedy specials are great. I love Bill Burr and Craig Ferguson. Yeah, the Netflix comedy specials are just on point. RT says Shyamalan was gonna do Indy 4. Yeah, that's an interesting fact. Jeffrey Toon says no, Dave Filoni came up with Savage Opress and Scissor Punch Fellow. Oh, Scissor Punch. Altered Carbon books are great. The show only somewhat resembles its namesake. Brad Noble, Mr. Falcon loves it. That's great to hear. Rat Boy, Mark Calendar, Shyamalan trailer for Glass sequel split. Oh my God, I did not know that. Thank you, Rat Boy. Thank you so much for that shout. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so guys, if you have not seen Split yet, go see it. It's Shyamalan. I know I'm not saying his name right, but Shyamalan is back at full form. Split is fantastic. and it sets up for another film. So yeah, I'm not going to explain the entire scene that happens, but it sets up for another film in the Unbreakable universe. And if you've seen Unbreakable, oh my God. So Glass is going to be the name of the film. Trailer is July 20th. That is on the list for sure. I have been waiting for that for a long time. So thank you very much for that shout. Oh, I'm so excited for that. Thank you very much. Definitely awesome. Super says a lot of profession critics like our low key shills and make it makes, yeah, exactly. And this kind of goes back to the discussion I've had before about, you know, Collider and about Screen Rant. All these people are, and I don't like to, again, I don't like to use names. I don't like to call people names, but what a shill is someone who just says something because they want to be seen in a positive light. They don't try and be true to themselves. They don't say the words that they would say in everyday conversation. They just put on this act so that they can get, you know, promotions, so they can get their press badges and all these other things. And I mean, it's not like they're doing anything wrong necessarily, because again, they're making a living. But at the same time, when they get into these discussions about like the Star Wars debacle that's going on, they don't have any real credibility, because they're going to say anything that they can to try and stay in good graces with Lucasfilm, with the studios, with all these people that provide the press passes, that provide this, you know, the sneak peeks and everything like that. And so I just, yeah, totally agree with you there. That's for sure. Brad Noble says, now let me bring up the Wheel of Times books. Guys, y'all are giving me way too many recommendations. My list is so long. I already have my own personal list of things I need to catch up on. Oh my goodness. As I said, guys, I have promised to have it done by the end of the decade, 2 years. If not then in a decade. So within the next 10 years. Brad Noble says, Rand Al Thor demands love. RT says, Shalamala. Shalala. Shamalalala, don't be scared. Digital cookie to whoever gets that reference. Shalalalala. Jeffrey Toon. All right, Adam Davies says, I'm an evil white guy too. Mine on rice in a paper cup in a snowstorm. Can't be helped. I'm Irish, so that's what I got from my family. It's funny because my grandfather was very heavily Cajun. In fact, we found out just like a couple of years ago that we actually have family from the Canary Islands. So I have Islanos in my family. And so it explains why my grandfather, he had very, very dark skin. So he spent a lot of time in the sun as, you know, as a lifeguard. And so he got very, very tan. But because he was Islanos, his skin was very dark. And so just fun fact, I didn't get that apparently because I'm just white as all get out. So it's pretty bad. Brad Noble says, think Shamalama Ding Dong. I love that. Might have walked into something. Yep. James Diaz says, I love Jeptune. Jedi Starships is Collider. Disney Collider is Disney promotional people. Yeah, pretty much. Like everything on Collider nowadays is like defending Disney, is defending anything they do. And it's not like I don't like the people on there. I mean, the schmoes kind of were part of my inspiration for getting involved in any form of film criticism as far as being on YouTube. And I always say like the biggest influences in my life as far as me getting started on YouTube are obviously Jeffrey from Geeks and Gamers. I'm sorry, not Jeffrey, sorry. Jeremy from, I don't know why I just said, I think it's because Jeffrey was in the chat and we have so many, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, I know his name. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers is by far like the biggest influence because he's the one that just helped me understand a lot more about what's going on with Star Wars, with all the news updates, all the information that he was able to give. His live streams have always been so great. So he has a lot of inspiration for me. But of course, also as far as like my film criticism, my biggest influences have been people like Jeremy Johns, who just recently made an awesome video about Star Wars where Jeremy made a video on it as well. So he's been awesome. And then I also do like Chris Stuckman. I think Chris Stuckman can sometimes be a little bit chilly, but I do think he is a genuine person. I think he's very genuine in how he talks about his film, how he talks about movies in general, but then also the schmoes as well. I've been following them for a very long time since they did a lot, before they got their own studio, before they got their own channel, when they were just doing things on a webcam. I've been following them for that long. And John Flickinger too is another one, the Flick Pick, really great channel. He doesn't do a whole lot of videos anymore, but he is this giant nerd who is also a giant bodybuilder, and it's just this incredible dynamic. But all these people inspired me to get started. So that's why it's hard, especially with Collider, because there's a lot of really good people on there, but then they also just fall into this shill trap, essentially. I will say this for sure. Roka, who is a part of Collider, total shill. I mean, this guy said everyone that was saying Solo was gonna bomb was just, didn't know what they were talking about. and he has yet to eat crow on that. Like, he was saying that Solo was going to make a lot of money, and he was not going to be wrong. He knows, and all the tracking, blah, 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 blah. Basically just making stuff up, just following the company line, following everything that's going on with Disney, and he has yet to eat crow. And so I don't have any real respect for him, but the other guys I do. Navy says, that's why I love Half in the Bag. Half in the Bag. Oh my goodness, so many things. Brad Noble says Split was great. It was so good. RT says, especially scientists. Oh my goodness. Y'all give me too many things. Too many things. Jeffrey Toon, so many Jeffs. I know there's so many Jeffs. There are just so many. We have Jeffrey Toon. We have Jeff Cottos. That's why I was thinking Jeff when I was trying to say Jeremy. RT says that Ghostbusters video had me in hysterics with Rich Evans' confused face superimposed over comments. Please link me to that, because that sounds amazing. Brad Noble says, Rich Evans is my man wife. We all have one of those. Super says, Jeremy Johns is rad. I like Jeremy Johns. I think he gained a lot of respect from this community, especially when he made that video really supporting Jeremy and all the people, you know, who've been covering Star Wars. But also, too, is so cool. He came into Jeremy's live stream chat and donated $50 to a super chat. So Jeremy is a really, really, I mean, I thought he was cool beforehand. I have so much more respect for him now with everything that he's been doing lately. RT says, how many t-shirts does Stuckman have? I know. I will say this, that if I was going to buy any t-shirts, it would be from the Flick Pick, because he's got some really great, I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. He has a Back to the Future shirt that I would love. It's called Back to the Flick Pick. So I would want to get that shirt, because anything Back to the Future is great. But then also he has a Nightcrawler shirt. Nightcrawler. Has anyone ever seen the movie Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal? Oh my God, that film is amazing. I love it. That was another one of my favorite films of the year that came out. Oh my God, Jake Gyllenhaal, the fact that Jake Gyllenhaal did not win an Oscar for that performance is criminal to me, because he was so damn good in that film. He became that character. He was not Jake Gyllenhaal playing a character. He was that character. But the Flick Pick has this awesome shirt with his face on it with the video cam, and it says, you know, steady hands, steady hands. And I love him very much. Let's see. RT says, I think I like Ellis. He's funny. Yeah. I mean, I like them both. Super says, did you ever watch Your Movie Sucks? I have not. Is it really good? Let me know. Brad Noble, nerds have muscles. Damn right they do. RT says, yeah, I've seen the Star Wars one. Not as good as the GB one for me. Super Cinema Sins. I have watched Cinema Sins. Cinema Sins is really, really funny. It's really great. Brad Noble, Crow is great barbecued. Yes, it is. And you know what? I did it earlier because I accidentally blocked someone who hasn't shown up back in the chat yet. I blocked someone accidentally in the chat as I was scrolling through. I accidentally hid him from the channel. So, and I ate crow. I said, hey, I made a mistake. I'm very, very sorry. I apologize publicly. And guess what? That's all it. That's all you have to do. It's very, very easy. Not so much for these people, but yes, barbecued crow. That's crow. Barbecued crow is when you know you made a mistake and immediately you say, hey, yeah, I made a mistake. That's barbecued crow, and it is indeed delicious. RT says Roka is never off Collider now since John left. Oh, Lord. Yeah, definitely. That's why I don't watch any of Collider stuff these days. Jedi Starship says Soilo is the correct pronunciation. I'm so sorry. You are correct. I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. I am sorry. You are right. I was wrong. James Diaz says, found you, Odin, from a YouTube recommendation video from a G&G stream. By the way, Geeks and Gamers are awesome. Well, James Diaz, I'm so glad that you found that. That's awesome. You have no idea, guys. Y'all have no idea how awesome it feels like for a comment like that, especially the fact that Geeks and Gamers, which is this incredible channel, like 60,000 subscribers, an amazing channel, an amazing community, an amazing group of creators on that channel. I mean, Ivan Ortega is a part of it, Anna, that Star Wars girl, Jesse Milestone, Jeremy, of course. You have so many people that are part of that channel. SC Reviews. I always forget. I know I'm forgetting other people as well. Lauren. And they're just so freaking amazing. And it's just the fact that one of my videos, I know that my channel has been growing steadily for a while now, but I still feel so small. I mean, I don't take anything that I have been given for granted. I have so much appreciation for everyone that's ever a part of these live streams. I know that there are so many other things that y'all could be doing right now. So the fact that you're watching me, the fact that you're engaging in this chat is so humbling. And so thank you so much for that comment once again, because the fact that you found me connected to a Geeks and Gamers video is just awesome. So thank you so much. I mean, Diaz, thank you for joining the chat. I hope you've been having fun. I hope this has been fun for you. So thank you so much, man. RT says Soilo, a soy wars sorry. Exactly. You have to put all the soys in there. Yes, absolutely welcome. Adam Davies, Half in the Bag is awesome and brutally honest. All right, good to hear. James Diaz says, thanks. Absolutely, man. Brad Noble, the best is the cringe shilling of soil. Brad Noble says, crap, Odin is catching us. I know, right? I am actually, this is the best I've done with the chat ever. Like, I was 10 minutes behind at one point today, but I usually never catch up with the chat until like the end of the stream. So the fact that we're still going and I'm catching up with the chat is awesome. Let's see. Drist time again. RT says Mike Zero, Mundane Matt. Yeah. I've watched a couple of Mike Zero's videos. We talked about this before. He sometimes just gets a little clickbaity with his titles, which is something I try to avoid. I always try and put things that I'm actually going to talk about, which I'm not saying he doesn't do that, but I feel sometimes he, again, nothing against him, nothing against his content, but I don't watch him too much. Yeah, I heard about Mundane Matt. I'm going to have to check out his channel. Brad Noble says lines of what? I need context, guys. I need context. Somebody says, Odin, you are so humble. No, I mean, I'm not trying to come across. I mean, that's not the point. I mean, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that comment. But again, it's one of those things where I'm so thankful, guys. I really am. I mean, I never expected any of this. I would never expect to be awake at 11:36 at night where I am with 21 people watching, people who are just engaging with the comments, and amazing people at that. I mean, people who do amazing things for their jobs, people who volunteer at places. I mean, this is just an amazing community. I love y'all so much. This is fantastic. Jeffrey Toon says, Jeffrey Pritchard, Desk World novels are, oh my God, guys, stop giving me recommendations. My guys, for the moment being, the list is full for books and comics. Movies are fine, but as I've told y'all before, it took me a year to read a book once, 1,000-page book. It took me a year. So I can't take any more book recommendations. I will let y'all know as soon as the list opens back up. As soon as I read one of those titles, I'll open it up for another slot for another book. I can't do it. I really can't. Let's see. Navy says, wow, 2 hours. We've been going for 2 hours. Oh my God. Wow, 2 hours of streaming. You're like the battery. Duracell keeps going and going and going. I'm not even like, again, I say this every time. These live streams fly by. Like I sat down and I was like, I'll do like an hour. I'll do like an hour and a half. And then like we're hitting 2 hours now. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we're doing this for 2 hours. I'll probably be wrapping up soonish just so that I can get to, I have to drive my wife to the airport tomorrow. So I don't have to get up too early for that. But oh my goodness, this is fantastic. But thank you, Navy. Absolutely. James Diaz got in 2 hours late, enjoying it so far. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for being a part of it at all, James. Thank you. Welcome to the community, guys. Brad Noble says chat is the best side scroller ever. Navy says, damn, I am old. RT says 21 watching. Yes, we've been like hovering around 20 now for almost an hour. That's freaking amazing. Thank y'all so much. And again, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe as well if you want to. Super says, do you know what Geeks and Gamers stream John's dropped in on? Would love to watch. I forgot it, but I'm sure you could like tag in Jeremy. You can find him on Twitter at @DDayCobra, and you can tag him. Lauren might be able to know. Lauren is his mod for all of his streams or for most of his streams. She might be able to better guide you to that stream because oh my God, I watched that stream. It is awesome. RT says Odin the humble. Thank you very much, RT. I greatly appreciate that. Brad Noble says, explain yourself, Odin boost. Thank you. I do greatly appreciate it so much. Jeffrey Toon says, I bet Rian Johnson couldn't do what you do, Odin. Seriously, he's such a bonehead. Another one. You are finding the words. You said you couldn't find words. You are finding all of the different words you could possibly use to describe Rian Johnson. So you were doing awesome. No, I honestly, the one thing that he couldn't do that I do is take responsibility when he makes a mistake, which in reality is not hard. I mean, again, I'm not acting like all high and mighty because there are times in my life that I do not recognize that I'm wrong. But when I do recognize that I am wrong, when I actually, because, you know, this is part of my personality. Sometimes I'm just so hard-headed, I think I'm right. But there are times that I do make mistakes. And so when I know that I've made a mistake, I'm going to own up to it. And the fact that Rian Johnson can't do that and doesn't see it is just really sad. So no, he couldn't do what I do because he couldn't do that. That's the one thing that he couldn't do. And so therefore he couldn't do what we're doing right now. Brad Noble says, Tico, get the mushroom. Brad Noble, Toon, get the flower. Jeffrey Toon says there are about 28-ish Discworld novels. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I'm never going to be able to touch all of those. Brad Noble, Steph, hit the brick. RTE, Brad, get the star on it. Yes, yes. Oh, my God. So great. Wes Smith, got to run, got an alarm call. I got to roll on. Well, Wes, thank you for stopping by. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Please join us again in a future live stream, Wes. And thank you for joining. And good luck with whatever. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you have going on, but good luck with whatever you have and stay safe, whatever it is. Brad Noble, do it for the kids. Night West, see ya later. Jerry Tune, sorry, not focusing well at this point. Dude, it's got to be like, what, 5 a.m., 5:20 now where you are? That's insane. Brad Noble, just own up to it. Exactly. Just own up to it. Like Rian Johnson could come out tomorrow and say, I own up to this. I apologize. I said some things that weren't true. I said some things that I shouldn't have said, etc. And I would be one of those persons where if I thought he was genuine and if he was taking steps forward to like owning up to that fact, I mean, I'd go support him again. I mean, I have no problem doing that because, again, he has made good films in the past, one of them being Brick. So I wouldn't totally shut him out. But if he's going to keep doing this, if he's just going to ignore it and attack, not even just ignore it, but attack fans on top of that, like, no, I'm not going to support you. Again, just own up to it, man. It's not that big deal. Tina Beeb. Well, welcome, Tina. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. I just found your channel about a week ago. Glad I found you and will subscribe. You're doing a great job with your content. Tina, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate for being here. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Again, I read every single comment, not just on the live stream, but also on all of my videos. If you leave a comment, I will read it. I won't always engage with it completely, like leave a comment, just because there at this point now, like there have just been so many comments, especially on like some of my other videos where it would just take me so long to respond to them like fully. So I will definitely give you a heart though. If you leave a comment, I read every single comment. So thank you so much for finding us. And thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you. Trevor Tune, RJ is a very small human being. James Diaz, something is small. Yeah. Navy says Disney is in damage control right now. That's why Giants in full denial. And caught almost. I am almost there. Jeffrey Tune, 5:42 a.m. Adam Davies. To me, the inability to admit your mistakes is a character flaw. Everyone has pride, but live with it. If you can admit your errors, how can you own your victory? No, exactly. If you cannot own your errors, how can you possibly understand what true victory is? You are absolutely right there. Brad Noble Tunes is a time traveler. Indeed. Navy Jeffrey Tune somewhere in Eastern Europe. Yep. Brad Noble, got my eye on you. Welcome and hello. Jeffrey Tune is in the UK. RT, hello, Tina. Hi, 70B. Oh my God, I'm almost caught up with you guys. Jeffrey Tune, sorry, Jeff. I just need to wake up. Jeffrey Tune, hello. 70B, smiley face. Tina, hi, Rose. Smiley face. Smiley face from RTE. Jeffrey Tune, I haven't gone to bed yet. Boom, I am caught up with the chat. All right, so I'm going to stay on for like a few more minutes, catch any live chats going on right now, and then once I'm caught up with anything that comes in from this point on, probably the next like 10 minutes or so, max 10 minutes, then I'm gonna call it as well to go to bed. Jeffrey Tune, you need to go to bed. So we're almost done here. So if you want to stick around for another 10 minutes, we are almost done because I need to go to bed as well. But you, sir, you need to go to bed for sure. Brad Noble, why does Star Wars suck? Jedi Starship, Odin, what are your views towards the live action Star Wars TV show and the future in general of Star Wars? Brad Noble says, damn, Odin won. Damn right I did. 70B, Odin the humble, go to bed. Exactly. No, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. It's not too late for me. Tomorrow, Saturday, I don't have to get up early. So I'm still okay at this point. Maybe now people have to write really fast. All right, Jedi Starship, I did not forget your question. I just wanted to keep up with the chat for that point. Now is where I fall behind once again. Anyway, so Jedi, I think the TV series could be really good. I know that we have obviously the guys from Game of Thrones doing one. So obviously, I don't think they have great original content, but when it comes to them adapting material, I think they can do a lot of really good work. So I am excited to see what they could do, especially if they're given free reign. I think they could do a lot of good things. I don't think they're going to do HBO stuff. I don't think that Disney is going to allow for that to happen. So we'll see a little bit of control there, but I think that's a good thing because HBO does a little too much with nudity, in my opinion. We talked about this earlier on the chat. I just don't think it's necessary. Again, nudity for the sake of nudity is just not necessary. And for almost every situation, really, nudity isn't necessary in a TV show. But no, absolutely. I think that the TV shows will be fine. I think that the one by them is going to be good, but I also am really looking forward to the Jon Favreau TV series. I think that could be really good as well. So definitely looking into that as well. Let's see. Tina says, I've been binge watching on Amazon Prime and needed a break. Amazon Prime is fantastic. Also, a really great service. If anyone's doesn't have cable or anything like that, I use YouTube TV awesome service. I'm not sponsored by them at all, but I just wanted to say YouTube TV is fantastic. I've been watching all the World Cup games with YouTube TV, and I love it because I can just pull it up on my phone. The stream is great, and it's awesome. So I definitely recommend it. Let's see. I did fall behind. Now people need to write really fast. Citizen Air says, Ryan is such a troll. I'm sorry that you could not bother to understand my genius. Exactly. Like he's so full of himself. Devertune, RT, John Favreau is competent. Absolutely he is. Brad Noble, that chat was me was me spazzing before Ghost caught my Pac-Man. Brad Noble, you've been rocking the chat right now. Super says, I'm really tired, so I think I'm going to tap out. Again, we're almost done, so definitely appreciate that. Thanks for staying for as long as you have. You are amazing. You are awesome. So Super, always a part of the chat. Always fantastic. Super. Thank you. Go to bed. Have a good night, sir. Tina talking to the RTE Night Anime. Navy says, if we ever get the adventures of Luke Skywalker with another actor, then let it be Sebastian Stan. Ooh. Interesting fact about Sebastian Stan. He is awesome in Marvel. He has been an amazing Winter Soldier. But here's a fun fact. One of his first big movies was a terrible, terrible film called The Covenant. It is one of the worst films I've ever seen in theaters. At one point, Sebastian Stan's character says, I'm going to make you, and I quote, my weotch, because it's a story about witches, about male witches. And so at one point he says, I'm going to make you my weotch. That's how bad the film is, but it's also amazing. Me and my best friend, that was like our guilty pleasure film for a long time. We quote the movie all the time, even though we only saw it once. And every year we say, we need to watch it again. We need to watch it again. It's that bad. But Sebastian Stan got his start there. He is terrible in that film, but he has been amazing as a Winter Soldier. So he would be awesome. I definitely agree with you there, good sir. Let's see. Super also said, okay, so I got that one, got that one. Cool night. Jedi Starship says, Odin, hello, sir. Jedi Starship says, Odin is boss. Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. RT says, never heard of him. Well, he is the Winter Soldier. So, all right. Brad says, Navy from the wings. James Diaz says, Odin, Jedi, Sith, or Raven. Is that about me? So as I said this before, I'm totally honest with my background on Star Wars. I am film-based, so I don't know a whole lot about the EU. I don't know about a whole lot about the about Legends, but I do have all these amazing people in this chat. Many of these people in this amazing chat have given me a lot of recommendations that I've been putting on these little sheets of paper, and part of that are those stories that I don't do not know a whole lot about. So I don't know who Raven is, or Raven. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I will say that out of Jedi or Sith, I'm probably more Sith because I do sometimes deal in absolutes. I have a very black and white personality, especially when it comes to moral issues. So I would probably consider myself to be a Sith, to be honest. I would actually rock that red lightsaber. But I would say, since I know a little bit about the gray Jedi, I would probably fall more in line with that, since I feel like I'm equal parts Sith and also Jedi as well. Yeah, he plays Bucky. I almost said. Speaking of which, Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star. If you want to see a terrible film, Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star. It's about a kid. He's not a kid. He's an actor. He's an older actor playing a kid. He plays someone with a micro penis who's trying to become a porn star. Just thinking about it has me laughing. It's such a funny movie. Oh my goodness. So if that's the kind of thing that you might be into, I might check that out. I don't know why I just suggested that film. Don't see it. It's a terrible film. But yes, Bucky Barnes. RT, yeah, he plays Bucky Barnes. Navy says, well, remember Arnold Schwarzenegger, Hercules in New York. Brad Noble, maybe Stan as Star Killer. Interesting. Adam, Davey says, I haven't even thought about the Covenant in years. Deep cuts. Yeah, it's been a long time. Devertune, I remember Hercules in New York. He was dubbed. RT says, yeah, he'd be more like a Han Solo than Luke. Devertune, Revan is the gray side. Okay, thank you. Raven is grayish, more dark Jedi. Okay, yeah. So then I would be more Raven for sure. Definitely more Raven. Jeffrey Toon, watch the one with the original Jedi Starship. Yeah, won me over. I subscribed. 755 Jedi Starship. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. Yes, slowly but surely, this channel is growing, and I appreciate every single one of you. Y'all are freaking fantastic. So thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's see. Navy says, wasn't standalone. Wasn't still an important Jedi Starship. Let's make that 1K happen. Hey, I would I would be so grateful. Like I've already said, I've said this before. The day that whenever, if I ever, because I don't expect anything from this. To be honest, I don't expect anything from this. I do this because it's fun. So if that happens, great. With that, I think the possibility of monetization becomes opened up, and if that happens, any money that I make at all is going to go straight back to the channel. One of those things being giveaways. That's something that I've always loved that other channels do, that sometimes I feel a lot of channels don't do. And so I would love to do giveaways. So not just to like put money into the channel as far as like, you know, hardware, but also to be able to give back to the people who support the channel. So I have like a crap ton of Blu-rays. Like I have an entire gigantic stack of Blu-rays. You can see any of my earlier videos to see all the Blu-rays that I have. I have some duplicates. I have movies that I have the digital copies of that I could give away. So that's something I would love to do. And so that would be a way of paying off the shipping costs. I would love to do that in the future. So yeah, I mean, if that ever happens, I will be so freaking grateful. So thank y'all so much just for being a part of this. And y'all are freaking amazing. I love y'all so much. So thank you very much. Jeffrey Toon, I understand Schwarzenegger's English wasn't very good. Yeah. Egg, good night. Hey, you've been watching this whole time? Why have you're usually active in the chat? You must be working then. Good night, good sir. Let's see. System error. That was Arnold Strong. RT says 18 likes, 2 more for 20 people. Yes, absolutely. Guys, thank y'all for liking this video. Thank y'all so much. Let's see. Brad Noble tonight. Get the chopper. No, get the chopper now. Get the chopper now. No, it's not Tuma. It's not Tuma. Tina says that you take the time to do this is great. I'm getting more entertained by you and other YouTubers than I do off the regular TV. Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you so much. And that means so much to me. So thank you very much. I'm just glad you're having fun. I'm having fun. If you're having fun, hey, we're doing something right. And Brad Noble says, as a sexual T-Rex, that works. All right. So I'm gonna have to end the chat there. My wife just texted me saying, "Come to bed," because she has to go. She has to get up to go to the airport. I don't have to get up too early. I can still get a full night's sleep, but she has to get up in the morning. So guys, thank y'all so much. For the 17 people still here, y'all have been awesome. For anyone new, thank you so much for joining us. Please join us again. I'm going to do another live stream tomorrow. I'm going to post the time on Twitter, but I'm also going to put I'm also going to schedule an event on YouTube as well. So whichever format you use, it's going to be there. So it's going to be probably a little bit earlier, so that way we can go, you know, for a little bit longer. So that's going to be there. So thank y'all so much for joining me. If you want to join again, please do that. Please hit that like button if you liked anything that you've seen so far. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you see, think about subscribing. I would greatly appreciate that. It would help me out a lot. But also to share any videos that you like too. If there's some content that I cover, maybe a movie or a subject matter that I cover that you really like, that you think other people might like, you know, share it around, you know, get the word out there. That it helps me out a lot. You don't have to. Again, I never say this to say you have to do this or to try and pressure anyone into it, but I would greatly appreciate that. So thank y'all so much. I'm going to look at the chat just to see the buys because this is always a fun part. Navy says, is there even regular TV anymore? Brad Noble says, fun chat. Adam Davies, see you, mate. See you, dude. Have a great one. James Diaz says, bye, Odin. Bye, James. Jeffrey Toon, night, everybody. See you later. RTE says, only reality crap. Damn right about that. Stephanie B says, good night, y'all. Navy says, thank you, Odin. See you around, man. Peace out. Yes, hopefully see you tomorrow. Let's see. Tina, RTE says, night, Odin the Humble. Thank you. I do really appreciate that. Tina says, thank you. Have a great night, everyone. No, there's no regular TV anymore. Yeah, pretty much. There really is no. So good night, Tina. RT, night, Steph. Brad Noble. Next time we save Peach. Yes. Yes, you have to outrun me that time. Adam Davies, see ya, Asgardians. Yes, everyone, see Asgardians. This has been Asgard. Thank y'all so much for joining. RT says, night, Tina, Brad, Loon, System, everyone. Bye-bye. So I've caught up with everybody. I'll put a goodbye in the chat after I sign off. So thank y'all so much. Have a great night. Get some rest. And as always, God bless. Y'all are amazing, guys. Thank y'all so much.